Okay, I'm recording too frequently. Please. Nope. There we go. Shoot.
All
Tech
right,
issues,
there
everybody.
you
All right.
go.
Welcome to the channel. I'm OGL Schmidt. This is Link Johnson. This is the
Hello.
first time that Link and I have had a chance to record together. Link, of course, is familiar with Danny. He's a member of the Tool Army. He's been all over the world, just a super busy man. So we're very grateful to have his time. Link, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so we've got a this is going to be I'm going to drop out of here shortly. Danny's getting a breathing treatment done. We're going to basically, it's going to be a conversation about, topics people don't want to talk about, and we're going to try to find some unity and some reason in a chaotic and unsure time. We're going to start this off with a little bit of breaking news involving Donald Trump having some really bizarre ideas about what to do with Canada.
All right.
Danny, if you could start the film for
Republicans.
There we go. Film
here in farm states concerned about ingredients for fertilizers that come as well. There are a myriad of products that we are just learning about as Americans. Fascinating, although perhaps not under duress to learn about them. He's obviously looking for some kind of concession. You hear him. He talks about Colombia. He's talking about Mexico and the 10,000 Mexican troops. And I know you view him as unreasonable, to say the least here, but do you think that ultimately Canada might end up conceding, or is that not even a possibility?
Well, I think the issue is that Donald Trump is claiming Canada's a narco state. The man's a liar. So would we put some more money on the border? Sure. I'd love to put more money on the border to keep American guns from shooting our people on the streets. We would do that to avoid a trade war. We're reasonable as Canadians. But when you have somebody threatening our sovereignty, well, we're hunkering down for a fight here. So yes, for people in the grain growing belts, potash from Canada is essential. For the tech people, critical minerals, we've already had our BC Premier talk about shutting off the critical mineral flow. Wood, you need that. But the big issue, and I think it was raised by some of your previous panelists, auto. The auto sector is so integrated that within a week, even without the retaliatory trade pressure from Canada, you'll start to see Lansing, Toledo, Bowling Green start to sputter and go down, because this is just-in-time delivery. Our whole North American economy is based on this. So that Donald Trump thinks that Canada is his biggest enemy, the guy wouldn't stand up to Putin. He gives a feather to China, but he's going to pick a fight with us. Well, if that's the way it's going to be, we will be there pound for pound. It's going to hurt us a lot, but the American people are much more divided than we are right now, and we are unified. So we'll see what comes next.
We're going to see or hope to see soon what comes of it. It's supposed to take place in about 45 minutes. Would you say then that Canada is going to call his bluff, or is already calling his bluff?
Well, we've already announced, I think, $125 billion in retaliatory tariffs. We will give 21 days pause so that our companies can start to retool before we launch the next level. We've already this. I'm hoping that our prime minister will cut a deal. I think with Donald, it's so important that he looks like he's won something. I mean, this isn't gunboat diplomacy. This is really, I don't know, like Al Capone in his syphilitic period trying to do a shakedown. So, yeah, we'll make concessions on something that, he can write a press release about. But on key areas, Canadians would hunt our leaders down if they bowed and kissed the ring to the man from Mar-a-Lago. It's not going to happen. So we shall see. I'm hoping that we can get through this and get back to work with our American cousins.
Wow.
Yeah. So just right off the bat, and I'll say this about any mainstream media institution, CNN is not an unbiased source. They definitely have an axe to grind, as does every mainstream media. So once again, you have to take everything here with giant pillars of salt. But the idea of Canada being like a drug state, never heard that ever.
No.
I mean, if anything, if you're going to do that, you might as well annex Maine, because there's a serious meth problem there. So I mean, you're gonna and leader for leader, Trudeau's as fucked up as Trump is, but the Canadian people, they're the ones that don't need to be suffering over this. So as I said before, I'm not economically literate enough to say the pros and cons of tariffs. I do know that if you're trying to jumpstart American manufacturing, that's a good idea. But do that first, okay? Because if we're still dependent on these other countries, and you essentially are cutting them off, then we're going to be the ones hurting for a while. The whole idea was that things became far too expensive under the last administration, which they did. I felt that personally due to inflation and whatnot. You don't need this motherfucker adding to it when he was elected to bring those things down. I think this is ego speaking from Trump. I think he's caught up in this whirlwind. It's like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, and he's doing some things that are good and some things that like this that are just, if you don't want the world to think you're a crazy man, this is definitely not what you want to be doing. Right. Like any world leader right now is just sort of like sitting there shaking their heads, and I could point fingers at all of them too. But America's supposed to, if we're supposed to be putting America first and saying, okay, we're going to set the example. Here is our president, a lunatic who is talking about making Canada the 51st state and imposing tariffs before we have the ability to produce our own goods. So it's just
right.
Yeah,
and to your point of the biased news, there's a class that I took in college. I went to college for mass communications and public relations. Mm-hmm. I was a news writer in college, and I was an award-winning news writer. I worked for two different news teams at the same time that was actually in competition with each other. Mm-hmm. So I was actually winning awards for both teams while in competition.
An MVP for two teams on opposing conferences. That's pretty awesome.
Right. So I kind of got a good knack for news reading and news writing, and media literacy was a class that I took in college that I think should be taught in elementary now. Yeah, because media literacy is like what you said. You have to be able to look at all the sources. You have to pick out what is true, what actually did happen, what was actually said, and use your own critical thinking and say, okay, that's bullshit, or that makes sense, or that don't make sense. Yes. And what's being taken away is the power for people to use that critical thinking right now. Where he's treating this as if this is the 1970s where you just have to believe what he says. No, we got access to look at different sources and see. With Fox News, for example, like in Russia, Putin had and in North Korea, they have straight propaganda news. That's straight state oriented, that makes the people believe whatever they see. Okay, that's Fox News is our propaganda news. Now here's what I know. In college, every class of media literacy and journalism teaches you how to study Fox News. First of all, you got to understand Fox News is the name of the network, just like CBS, ABC, or Netflix. Fox News is the name of the network. So people that don't know that they're not watching news thinks they're watching news because they're watching a network called Fox News. You know, you can put Tom and Jerry on there and it's still gonna say Fox News at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what they're watching. So you watch people like Tucker Carlson and Bill O'Reilly and Fox and Friends and all. These are not news channels. These are not. They don't have to tell the truth. They can state their opinions. And which in news writing, that's called column pieces. I used to switch from sports writing. Yeah. I used to switch from sports writing to news writing to column writing. And I would like to do columns sometimes because I can say my opinion. And I would write stories about my trip to school today, or, you know, the weather in town, and give my opinions on, you know, the bus system or anything like that. But when it came back to news writing, you have to have Associated Press style of writing. You have to tell the truth. The thing is, you can omit some truths and you can tell one side of it, you know, and that's what Fox does. Like, you can watch a clip of Trump on Fox News and it may be 5 minutes long and it'll just be his talking points, but they have already clipped that up, you know, to where you watch it on CNN or MSNBC, they'll show the whole thing where the audience is asking them questions and he's saying dumb shit to people and he's being belligerent and saying racist things, but they'll clip that out of Fox News. And then people that only watch that be like, oh, he's a good guy. And it's like, you ain't see the whole thing.
I have
You know
actually
what I
seen
mean?
that from CNN and MSNBC as well, though.
Yeah.
So the
And
thing is, like the thing is, like we have the only difference between us and like a North Korea is we have two propaganda networks going on, one for each.
Mhm.
We've got two teams, and you got to be on one of them. And I agree with you. News has to be neutral. Tell us
Yep.
the facts. Let us figure out what to think about them. Give us the facts.
Yep.
Tell us what's going on, and then we'll figure out. And but if you think about it, because a lot of this, to me, and Denny and I have talked about this a lot, it's political theater. A lot of these
Yeah.
people were in the same boat
Infotainment.
together because if we are fighting each other, then they can they can do whatever they want, and we won't even notice because we'll be too busy having our brother in a headlock, punching him in the head because he believes something different. Meanwhile, they'll be running off with our money, with our freedoms, with whatever, our sanity. It's just and the thing about it is I don't know how to turn that around. Like there would have to be like a clean sweep where these things are essentially wiped clean. Because like I know for a fact Fox has almost always been sort of had that propagandist thing. CNN used to be a pretty reputable network. Like when they're not doing politics, CNN actually does pretty good work. But they've become essentially it's the whole like Nietzsche thing. If you fight monsters, you have to be careful that you don't become them. I think they've become what they were fighting, and like you said, if people are going to be thrust into this system, we have to learn how to deal with it. But that's not what they want. They don't want a empowered, informed populace. They want people that are going to. They either want people that are going to. They want sheep that will think exactly what they want to, or they want wolves that are always snapping at each other's throats so that they can run off with whatever the fuck they want to do. I agree, media literacy, but it needs to be an updated media literacy because this isn't just like newspapers and stuff like that. This is social media. This is a constant bombardment of information, a sea of information, steeped in opinions and facts. And, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a chaotic pile of information that's being thrown in people's faces. And we're supposed to be able to pick the relevant parts out of it, but it's constantly being pressed. And again, it rewards sensationalism. It doesn't reward, calmness. It doesn't reward, critical thinking. It just, put out something because there's still YouTube channels. Danny has seen these that are basically saying, okay, this guy who's still alive, he's dead. Just so people can click on it. You never see a headline that's just like, hey, you know what? This guy's doing fine. Let's have a hand for him. Because that's what we need.
They're waging a war on truth.
Yeah, exactly. And lately, almost a war on objective reality. And so there has to be a change, but the change is not going to be systemic, in my opinion. That change is going to happen one person at a time. And I do agree. We need to teach media literacy. I think we need to teach financial literacy as well. Because again, you have a person who knows how to manage money, who knows how to manage information. That is a person who does not require the government. And that is also a person who, like, if there's people who have needs, special needs people, whatever, someone who can manage their money, manage the truth, who can be successful, can take those people under his wing to the point where they don't need the government as much. And that is the fear of the government, is a populace that no longer requires them. Because essentially, I think government should pretty much be like a ref in hockey. You just you let the game play, and when things get out of hand, you step in and reassert the rules. I don't think government should be, again, like a nanny state where it's like, okay, these are the things you are and are not allowed to do, to the point of ridiculousness. Like, you commented on the wrong post on Twitter or whatever, so we're going to send the police to your house to shake you down so you never do that again. That is some Nazi Germany shit right there. And that's happening in some of these other countries. So, yeah, and I do think that
there he is.
Yeah. Danny is always talking about unity. That is unity.
That's how me and him got cool.
One thing you never hear people say anymore, because
I just want everybody to know watching.
What's up?
These two gentlemen have no idea about each other's beliefs or nothing. They're having a conversation here while I'm taking my breathing treatments. Just want to let y'all know they have no idea how each other feels. So this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit about more about Link than he does about me, just because I've seen you react with Danny. And much respect. But I had a point with this, and I almost fell off. I guess I'm saying, like, I think what you never hear is someone saying, I don't really know enough about that to form a really good opinion. Let me get back to you. Everyone is an expert now because they've Googled something. or
Right.
because they went to Wikipedia.
Right.
You never hear people say, hey, look, I don't agree with that, but I can piece together how you would come to that conclusion. So let's just, your situation is yours, my situation is mine. We've both come to the best conclusion we could in our situations, and let's just leave it at that. Because I remember back in the day when who you voted for wasn't even a topic that you brought up. It was just something that happened every 4 years, and I don't see.
And whoever won just won, and people went on about their day.
Because I don't think anyone is cut down the middle. I don't think morality is binary. I think I even talked to my mother and my sister about this. It's most people back in the day, most functional humans have what you would consider both right-leaning views and left-leaning views. Yep. Okay, depending on what the circumstance is. And it's whichever balance favors. I guess you say
both ends. You have extreme leftists and extreme right, but in the middle you got moderates and liberals.
What I call the functional center. Yeah,
people that can actually say, I get that. Because even though I say Trump is a madman, there are some things that he's implementing that be like, okay, I can get that. It's just how you execute it.
Mm-hmm. And I think
how you execute it that makes the difference. Like he wants to get people off of food stamps and government assistance and Section 8. I get that, but if you just snatch it right from up under people right quick, you didn't get. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, that is the problem. He lacks patience, and I'm the theory was he's there are a lot of ex-Democrats that are supporting him. Your Elon Musk, who is a weird guy, but he's obviously smart. Your Tulsi Gabbards, people like that, RFK, who are lifelong Democrats who have gone with them. And I think this is what I think people don't understand. Trump is not the center of the issue. He's becoming that just because of how things have turned out. But the whole reason people voted for Trump back in the day was because they wanted someone who was not part of the establishment. They were tired of politics. They were tired of politicians. And what I've heard from almost everybody is they like Donald Trump because he isn't a politician.
Now, here's the thing.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I in political science, I took political science, and I've debated in class with people that now serve and work at the UN. Mm-hmm. So I've had great debates in class with some really highly educated people about politics back in the day. And our professor used to just sit there and just let the healthy debates go. But we learned in political science that there's two types of people. You have the inattentive public and the attentive public. Yeah. The inattentive public are the people that basically never really paid attention to politics. There was always blah, blah, blah. I don't like that stuff. Because politics is a language. You have to understand the language. It's like learning the code of the street. Politics speaks a different language. And once you learn the language, you can tell if something's bullshit or not. What Trump done is tap into the inattentive public, the people that really didn't know the language of politics and just like to see this rock star up there going against the grain. And he done it at a time when people was like conspiracy theory this and anarchist that. Everybody was thinking like we need something to break it up. But what he did, he tapped into poor people. He tapped into poor people that needed a savior. He tapped into the people that was looking for any kind of change, and he took that power and he used it for evil. He could have been a unifier with that power, but he said, okay, how can I get away with stuff? So when he did all of those things, when he came into the light, he didn't realize that becoming president, that you're gonna have federal employees, FBI, CIA, and all the government treasurers and everybody digging into your business and seeing who you really are. And once they did that, he started calling those people, there's a witch hunt and they're after me. No, those people are doing their job because they tried to put checks and balances on him. And so he told all of his followers, look, they're after me. They're after me. And these were people that didn't really know what politics were all about. And they started believing, oh, well, they're just trying to hunt him down or they're just trying to do him wrong. And he's the one that, and it's like, no, he's trying to get away with shit. And then now, like I said, like I told Daddy last night, his first in 2016, when he got elected, he went on a victory tour for 6 months. He didn't sit down and do not one bit of work for 6 months. He did rally after rally, just thank you, just cheering and doing his little dance in front of people. He did that shit 6 months. This time, he know what he's in stake for because he got in all of this trouble and now he wants to deregulate everything. So he done came down. He hadn't put the pen down in 2 weeks. He hadn't got back out and thanked one voter. He's going against everything he said. These people that were just waiting for eggs and gas prices to go down is now getting a rude awakening, because now he's on TV saying, oh, there's going to be a little pain and there's going to be a little suffering and there's going to be a tough time. Nobody voted for a little pain and a little suffering.
Yeah, we actually voted to abate that. Is the
right. So now he's like working it in, and I would hate to see a lot of his voters be like, "Oh, well, because I've had this conversation with somebody else that's a diehard Trump supporter, and he was like, "Oh, well, it's got to get bad before it gets better, brother." That ain't what you voted for, though. Why are you telling me that now? You didn't say that to me in December. You didn't say that to me back in January. I mean, in June. So why now that he's making decisions against you, you telling me, oh, it's going to get bad before it get worse? That ain't what I wanted it to be. I'm sure that's not what you wanted to be. So he's really putting people in place that he can get away with stuff. He's deregulating federal rules. He's getting rid of all the people that's going to put checks and balances on him. You can't even pull up the judicial and the legislative websites of government no more. It's only the executive. He dismantled that. You know, he had this beef with Fauci because Fauci was doing his job and telling the people, hey, look, here's what this is and here's what that is. The CDC has a right to inform people if we have a virus floating in the air. Now they have to shut up and tell it and can't say nothing, because he don't want nobody getting more exposure or saying anything that he don't have no idea about. So he wants to have complete control. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all of these people, they kicked him off of these platforms when they knew he was a madman. But what he did was use their money, their power, and influence to make them kiss the ring. And as long as they kiss the ring, he promised them positions. This Doge thing that he gave Elon Musk is a fictional, made-up, make-believe fairy tale in government that now supersedes over our actual regulated policies that were in place.
So I think there are some regulations, because the amount of regulations just keeps increasing. I think some of them are excessive and do need to be removed. Do I think that Donald Trump is the one to be patient enough to ferret them out? Probably not. I do think that there is a great deal of waste in government. So even
that's the way you do it, though.
Even the prospect of getting rid of some of that is hopeful. You know, like I said, that's the shit with Canada is not filling me with a great deal of hope. But the idea of getting rid of government waste, yeah, I'm kind of down with that. We just keep sort of adding on to the national debt, and there is, you know, in politics, it's sort of like walking into a nest of vipers and trying to pick out the one that you think is like either so small its fangs can't hurt you, or is far enough away that it can't get to you to bite. Like it's all like everyone in there, in my opinion, is corrupt. You know, if Trump can funnel some of them out, that's great. But you still have Trump himself, who, while may not be from the political establishment, is still a corrupt businessman. So, like, he's not a moral barometer for anything. But I think what some people are hoping for is, I don't think people are expecting Trump to be sort of like a guiding light. They want him to be a bull in a china shop, sort of thrash around, and hopefully they're hoping he will wreck some of the bad shit. The problem is, bull in a china shop, it might wreck some of the ugly shit, but you're also going to break some priceless masterpieces too. So it's, I do think that the Democrats could have read the room a lot better, because it was obvious that people did want something that was off the beaten path. They were not satisfied with the establishment. They could have, there was plenty of people, I think, that were more qualified. They could have pushed and actually stood a chance of, beating Trump. So as opposed to just taking the,
yeah, I'm reading what Carolyn says down here.
Thank you. Hey, Carolyn, how you doing? Carolyn is awesome. She just recently joined the channel. I'm perfectly fine with helping other countries. Again, if it's managed well, but we do need to take care of our own shit first.
And like somebody else said a second ago, they said it's like George Bush creating fear, for 9/11. Yeah, it's like that.
To create a surveillance state, basically.
Yeah. And you see, and during that time in 2001, we didn't have social media. We were still just basically relying on the news. So when George Bush signed the Patriot Act, Patriot Act was basically a permission slip to surveil us. Yeah. When he came on the news saying there's terrorists, and there's terror. He didn't put a face or name on it. He left it up to us to believe that, it must be the Afghans. You know, it must be from the Middle East. You know, but then he turned around and made it out to be domestic terrorists. No, you are a terrorist, and you are collecting rainwater is terrorism, and you know, and all of this stuff that was we were doing.
They obfuscate it by using a name like the Patriot Act. You know, it makes it seem like it's something noble. No, it's the government's going to spy on you act is all it is. It's it's a fuck your privacy act. It's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
and George Bush, the son of senior George Bush and the grandson of Prescott Bush. Prescott Bush was part of the World War II Trading with the Enemy Act, which also basically says, you're this country, I'm this country. I know we at war, but we'll both make a lot of money just staying in this war. We'll be friends at being in war.
Mm-hmm. What's the word for that? Again, political theater. It's you keep the military industrial complex, keep it rolling.
Yep. You had Gulf Oil, which was BP oil at the time. An American oil company was selling oil to the Germans while getting rich off the Americans, so the war can continue.
Yep. That's let's send our children to die so some people over here can make money. That's very sad. All right, so Danny is ready to go. Lincoln, has been a pleasure talking with you.
It doesn't seem like it's bothering. Doesn't seem like it's bad for you being here, bud. Usually when we have three people, it seems like it's really bad. Carolyn, can you hear us good with all three of us here? Is there any echo or anything? Let us know, Carolyn. And I'll make Greg leave the building like Elvis. I can't make him do nothing.
Being asked to leave a building is nothing new to me.
Been put out of better places.
That's very true. It's very true.
All right, so guys, I'm going to give the floor to Danny. Link, seriously, it's been a pleasure, man.
You too, bro.
Yeah, we'll stay in the comments, Greg.
Keep up the good fight.
You as well, my friend. You as well.
All right.
Regardless of what left, right, black, white, we got each other's back, right?
Yeah, we the people.
All right. Hell yeah. We the people. All right. Out of here.
Peace.
What's up, Pimp?
All right, brother.
Sorry it took so long, man. I dropped my oxygen and couldn't find a damn breathing treatment. Got all bent out of shape over it.
You good? Me and Greg was having a good time, good conversation.
No, man, that was really good because I mean I'm sitting there thinking about, well, they don't really know how each other stands in the political scene or nothing, you know. So I thought that was a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, it just takes open-minded people to discuss this stuff right now. You know, you can't be closed-minded about what's going on right now. We at a time where we are the ones that need to have our ears and eyes, open and open-hearted and open-minded, because the definition of privilege is saying something is a problem because it don't affect you,
Exactly. I get that from a lot of people that
have
the channel. I've met people all around the world, and I have members of my family, and I have different people that just don't give a shit about the rest of the world. And why would that bother me? But yet they're very Christian because I live in the Bible Belt, and they speak unity and everything. I was like, well, Jesus wasn't from America, right? Not really sure.
Right.
Not really sure how that lines up with their morals and belief system, but I have I just have another angle from I heard a lot of the things you said, and Carolyn, I hope they're not going to get offensive because I think what I'm about to say is going to be.
Yeah, we don't care about who gets offended right now. Who can be more offended right now than the people?
Hey, hang up! You're still on camera. I see your hairy chest. Let me put you on the screen.
The people are getting shit on right now, so I should be offended by that. So it's not the time to have thin skin. It's the time to have thick skin. We all in this shit together.
You are right, my friend. You are right. Yeah, I don't think he meant you, Carolyn. He just meant in general. It's not a time to worry about who's offended. No,
yeah,
you're one of the most open-minded people I know. I think you're probably pretty religious, I think, and yet you have a very open mind, and you haven't called me out on nothing I've said, but I think I've had people tell me that that I live more of that I practice more things that are preached than some of the people preaching them, and that made me very humble. I I talked to AI yesterday. I put a thing on Facebook about Hank Williams Jr. I got really offended by everyone using the guy in Germany, can't really say his name, um, to describe Donald Trump. And that wasn't what I cared about so much. Hank Williams Jr. got kicked out of Monday Night Football and pretty much shunned from the Grand Ole Opry because he used an analogy one time on The View about Obama playing golf with somebody. He said that would be like Stalin or these two dictators playing golf together. And this was before he was even president. But it was an analogy. And then he come back on The View and he showed them the definition of analogy. He still got kicked off. And now people pretty much use it daily. You know what I'm saying? So the point is, my post got lost in translation about, and it started a political thing about Trump, and which wasn't a bad thing because it made me, AI is one thing, but I love the fact that it's subjective, if the right ones. And I told my thoughts in it, and for 2 hours I had a conversation, and it broke down things in a, what would you call it, Link? The way a educated man or a layman can understand it,
Layman's terms.
Yeah, layman term, and a great format. So, I've been thinking about these things since I was a little kid because I've seen hypocrisy in politics and in religion that I didn't understand. I wasn't even old enough to really be thinking this way. So I think I was born with my eyes open. And Link, you did a great thing for me because when you said, there's all these people out here that don't know what woke means. And then I gave Link a different perspective on, well, I always said I didn't understand woke either, but I realized after Link told me what it really meant that people may be misunderstanding what I'm saying because, oh shit, I'm sorry. Pixie, what's up, girl? Pixie, I love you, Dad.
Yeah, because they're polarizing and changing the definition of woke. When around the time when this started, around 2008, 2009, people were waking up. People were waking up to realize, the government is kind of full of shit. Yeah, we being fooled. We the people may not have all the answers, but I'm not stupid. So, people was looking into the Illuminati, this, the music entertainment, this, television is this, media is this, social media is that, the music is doing this. People started waking up and being like, hold on, I got some individuality here I can use instead of, doing what I'm told to do or dress like they say I should dress or act like how they say I should act. That was waking up. It was just a conscience. It was a conscious state of saying, hey, I am somebody. And the right came along and said, oh no, we can't control people that think that's waking up. We can't control them. We have to tell them woke is a bad thing. Woke is black people. Woke is foreigners. Woke is illegal immigrants. And it's like, hold on, now everybody that wasn't on the woke train was like, yeah, fuck woke. And it's like, well, the opposite of woke is fucking sleep.
Right. So he made me realize that, see, I never put a label on it. I always thought about people are sleepwalking and not awake to what their history is, for one, or like a species with amnesia, and to what is going on in the world today. So I think this is a great thing because Link me and Link have always been like-minded, but I didn't realize that Link is fighting the battle on the tree, trying to cut down the tree, and I've been fighting the battle trying to find out who planted the seed and the roots and where they grew from. So I didn't realize this because I know nothing about politics. Link is an educated man. So we are like two-minded people who happen to be different colors and who have always been interested in diversity or unity. I've just never called it
And having
diversity.
an
I always called
open
it
mind,
unity.
having an
But
open mind helps you see other good-hearted people. You know what I'm saying? You're
yes,
a good-hearted person. So it's like I would rather see you on the fight of good instead of ignorance. So it's like I was the one that, like, back in the hood in St. Louis, you know, growing up in the black neighborhood. I realized a lot of my people look at politics and be like, oh, that's for white people. Oh, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But that's media illiteracy. And there needed to be somebody like me that goes to college, that do read the books, and don't shame my people for not knowing. It's just that you need somebody on the front lines to say, hey, look, I broke it down and I've read between the lines. And I'm just going to inform you a little bit, you know, just to
and
help people.
I ain't trying to tell you business, Link,
too.
but Link's got Latino, white, and black heritage in his family. So
Yeah, blood. And
has to be
there's
hard.
no way, like, even around black people, I can't have that racist frame of mind. Around white people, I can't have that frame of mind. Around Mexicans, I can't have that frame of mind. There are certain things that I would just I hear it and it's like, I don't talk like that. I don't think like that. I can't be around that. You know, I can't salute you or high five you on that funny shit that you think is, no, it's not funny. You know, because I get it in so many different ways. And, you know, like I say, my own daughter, you know, is half Hispanic, and she's a 21-year-old American female here in this time. And with just 2 of Trump policies, all of her rights have been taken away.
Yeah, I never thought about. I thought about, you know, this is gonna sound crazy to some people, but I thought about my nephew, who when he was barely 19 years old, or maybe even been 18, he met, and he was a little slow. He wasn't necessarily Down syndrome or nothing, but he was just a little slow. He's been getting a disability check since he was 16. So you don't do that when you're healthy. Your body's healthy if there ain't something wrong, you know. And he met a girl who was, her daddy was a biker. She had been sleeping with grown men since she was like 13, and they slept together. She got pregnant, and so he's been a pedophile by definition when he didn't do anything wrong. But we don't consider that any different as far as the terminology. A baby, someone who does a baby is the same thing as a 18-year-old and a 15-year-old. And I think of so many things like that. So the immigration thing, I thought, well, lots of things are illegal that shouldn't be, and people are paying for it. So I didn't think about the fact of people who have been here, and America's obviously been allowing this to happen. So I didn't think about all these people who's been here, had children that are born here, whether illegally or not, that are now being snatched away. I didn't.
Yeah, in every nation in the world.
I never thought about it that way.
Every nation in the world, no matter where you from, no matter where you go, every nation on this globe says if you born on that land, you are native that.
That's right.
So how all of a sudden
I'm of the opinion now where we should shut the border. But the ICE thing is, I haven't witnessed it personally. I got Latinos upstairs. I'm actually an honorary Aussie. I'm actually a Chicano to my Chino friends. I'm cool to black people in Scottsburg uptown. And really my race is what I'm not as close with. But
I just saw what GL Schmidt said a second ago. He said, yeah, you can lean far left and far right. You still, you know, yeah, it always ends up in hatred and authoritarianism. But that's why I say you have the middle ground, you know, whether you far right or far left, you still have the middle moderates and liberals that you know, like me and you, that can sit here and say, hey, look, I can get some of that stuff, but some of the stuff, you know, I don't get. But we can conversate on it and have an open mind dialogue to come to a middle ground and find a median. You know, that's the thing that everybody needs to realize. What is far right and far left? And this extreme, when Obama or Biden was in office, yeah, we would make jokes and laugh at some of the stuff that was actually true or stupid about them. The thing about Trump is you got people that thinks he just shit gold bars no matter what he does or says. And that's like, you don't think that's kind of a cultish? Like some of the stuff, even if I was a Trump supporter, I'd be like, hey man, that's kind of stupid, man. What the fuck are you doing? You know, at some point. But to see his people not do that, it's like, come on, how far up his ass you want to stick your head? Like you got to admit, everybody, he's not God.
Well, I'm glad you said that like that, because I'm gonna give my view a little bit on how I think the other party's stupid as hell too. So there are people like me that have grown up with no political agenda or no knowledge of it because I've never paid attention to it. I literally found a tool when I was 16 years old, and it made me start searching deep into the roots of why politics is such the way they are. So if you take the words Republican and Democrat, and then you go back to cowboy and Indian, or you go back to Yankee and rebel, cowboy and Indian, paganism and Christian, you pretty much got the same group of people throughout time. It's not that different.
Yeah, people are going to be passionate about
I'm sorry to the religious people. Your Christianity, look it up right now, has over 360,000 denominations. That's just Christianity.
Yeah,
and this didn't start happening until the 1500s, and that's right about the time that America was discovered. So it seems to me like that correlates. So I've never seen a preacher that just starts and preaches the Bible from beginning to end. And there's a reason for that, because there's a lot of things in the Bible that preacher don't talk about. And the Bible's a great manuscript. There's a lot of it that I apply to my life. But so are a lot of the other religious texts, which they all predate the Bible. And a lot of people don't understand that the agnostic Christians and such, the people that there was a huge, huge schism in religion about whether God was a divine figure or just a prophet with divine knowledge, or what was actually God himself. And that went on for a long time. And the Council of Nicaea 325 is when they canonized the Bible. So there's also people that think Catholic and Christians aren't the same thing. Well, I searched this in every different way you could find. There was no such thing as a different denomination until the 1500s. So therefore, Christianity was Catholic for 1,500 years. So anybody that says they're not the same thing is just blind, and they are asleep.
I'm not religious, and I know a lot about religions. I grew up in the South in Baptist and Methodist churches. I've studied Muslim out of the Quran. I've studied Moorish Science Temple. I've even studied Wiccan. I've studied a lot of different religions under Buddhism, Catholicism. I've interested myself in so many different religions just to understand what their basics are. And I don't really follow religion because religion is ground for war. So you really can't tell nobody they right or wrong when you get to discussing religion, because that's their core beliefs and values of their humanity. But when it comes to politics, these things are on paper that has a left and right, a up and down, a black and white, reference to it. And some people go off what they beliefs and put them in politics, and actually what is actual policy and what is actually documented, what you can and cannot say and do.
Well, let's look at all the issues that everybody had the biggest problem with, and then the organizations that have a problem with this. You got the abortion, you got the transgender, you got the gender, you got the racial, you got all these things. Well, every one of those things can be attributed to what I guess you call conservative people to believe in the Bible, because it demonizes every one of those. So I think it transcends Trump, and it goes back to religious views, because it is God and country in America. There's no denying that politics and religion are in bed together. Yeah. And from someone like me that's had no political views, it's very clear to see this. And those three ships that come over here, the Mayflower, the Santa, and the Pent, they were Christian ships. And they flew the Christian cross, which is the zodiac symbol, by the way. But anyway, my point is, you can say wrong and left and right, and then just go to wrong and right. And throughout time, this has been the same thing. Even the Civil War was started by religious confrontation. It was not started. Both sides thought they had the God-given right to own slaves. That comes from the Bible. That comes from religious views. There is no denying that. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad as hell.
Let me ask you a question. Because school don't teach this. Whatever happened to Christopher Columbus?
He didn't discover America, but he was the Christian that discovered America.
Okay, well, now like you say, this is why I don't discuss religion, because your belief in Christianity he was a Christian in there. When fact, Christopher
I don't have to
Columbus
believe it all, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Here's things that the school books and the Bible don't tell you, and is because this is where woke kicks in. You have to wake up and actually realize what's actual fact and fiction. Use your critical thinking and say, okay, look, I think I know better than that, because something just don't make sense. Just like, how did Joseph's wife come home pregnant? You know, some things just don't make sense. You know, she just, oh, the Holy Spirit. No, you was over somebody else's house, Mary. You know, you just that ain't physically possible to me. That's just what I believe. But with Christopher Columbus, going back to my point, Christopher Columbus was a sailor. He was a seaman. He knew the world geography around the map, around how to get around. He had done some sailing before. And he went to the Queen, and the Queen was like, I need you to go find me some slaves from the West Indies. This is the reason why he was set on that tour. She basically emptied out, she pulled a Fidel Castro. She emptied out prisons, she emptied out the streets, and she gave him a crew, and she gave him those 3 boats and said, here's your people, and take them and do what you got to do. He, of his own knowledge, said, well, look, while I got this access and Queen royalty powers and money behind me, I can try to go on my own endeavor. I've been trying to go this way to get to the West Indies. And he so-called discovered where the Indians live, or the Native Americans lived. He discovered a land that was already inhabited by people. You know, it was just, he stumbled upon it. And he came back to the Queen and said, look, I think this place could be a gem. I think we could colonize it. I think we can do something over here. And she was like, fine, let's do that. And Britain would already, the British already had stake and claim in the land because it was already discovered. So to say.
They got a piece of South Carolina for a little while until
and the Italians
back out. They did definitely have it, and some up to Pennsylvania.
And Italian explorers had already discovered it. There's the reason why it's called America. It was named after Amerigo Vespucci. You know, so it was already. He's already saying, "Look, I'm."
It was a black man, by the way.
On top of that, the actual land was owned by the Sultan of Morocco. That was already documented. You can look up. You can Google a letter to the Sultan from George Washington. George Washington had wrote a letter to the Sultan of Morocco and basically told him, well, we know you own this land, but we're going to colonize it. We're going to make a constitution, and the people that claim indigenous to this land can still override and have rights to your constitution, the Moroccan constitution, which is the Moors, and the Moorish Science Temple. That's the reason why you see the people with the fez hats and they have a constitution, the circle 7 and the 5-point star with the circle around it. That's their flag. They have rights and constitutions that override American constitution because this is really their land by law. The Native Americans and the Indians and the Eskimos, the Mexicans, and that whole sector of people was already living and traveling through here. Now, Christopher Columbus went back to England and he told the Queen, well, hey, look, since I discovered this, I can discover some more stuff. And she was like, no, that's cool. We got enough, because you're trying to ask for more money. You're trying to get more funded, and you're trying to think that you're going to use the Queen's pockets to just go on your escapades. You did what I needed to do. You good job, you know. So he kept on. And what the history books don't tell you is they had Christopher Columbus shackled and walled up in a tower. And that's where he spent the last 25 years of his life.
Which is what I believe started the different denominations, because people
Mhm.
tired of going to the Pope to have to get divorces and such things like this, things that you had to go legally and get. And what I think is the mark of the beast, people, is your birth certificate. It's literally a bill of sale for a product that's going to make money the rest of the life and pay the government.
Now,
And we borrowed a bunch of money from the Queen. You got me off what I was saying a little bit, but for World War One, America went and borrowed a lot of money from the Queen. They went to the
Mhm.
United Nations, which was then in, I don't want to say something to put out false information, but it was not here. It was across seas, and they went in and said, "Look, guys, we're going to take over." And they're like, "No, the hell, yeah, we're not asking you. We're telling you, we're going to."
Mhm.
And that's what started that war, in a nutshell. And it broke us. That's why the Great Depression happened, and that's why
well,
there's
I can,
is a lot of in America, because on the down low, we owe her, and that's where the IRS come from. The international revenue, it ain't the American Revenue Service. And if you check really,
well,
it's not even located in America. The actual base of the IRS is in maritime law. It's not in.
all of those systems were created after the Great Depression because before the Great Depression, and I think somewhere around 1930 something. Before then, you could look up and see that the dollar had redeemable in gold, and then after that, it says this is a legal tender.
They went and took everybody's gold too.
Yeah. So I'll go back to what you said about the birth certificate. The birth certificate. I'm gonna bring some legalese into the game here. First of all, to break down legalese for those watching and you, so you understand what I'm saying. Legalese is the language of legal speak, and this is where a lot of things get twisted with words. If you go to regular school, we learn from what in elementary we learn from Webster's dictionary, right? Basic words and definitions. You go to college, you might get an Oxford dictionary, which got more collegiate words into it, more big, pronouns and different definitions to bigger words. If you go to medical school, you get the medical journal, which tells you the definitions of the zines and the dynes and the auras and all of the different prefixes and suffixes of medical terminology and how to identify medicines. But if you go to law school has Black's Law Dictionary, which is an important book in American literature because Black's Law Dictionary comes out in different editions. You have up to about, I guess, maybe 15 editions right now, but the 8th and 9th edition they is the most important ones. Now, what goes on in Black's Law Dictionary, you have words out of Webster's dictionary with alternate meanings.
Okay, can you hold that spot right there? Let me just interject something.
Go ahead.
So that to me is a continuation of the Bible being translated into different languages. So you have to go to a church or preacher to have it translated for you. So this is the new version of, well, we need to make languages that people don't quite understand. But just hear me out. This is just a theory. And because there's a lot of terminology and symbolism in law. And for one, there's 2 different names for each state. The state of North Carolina and North Carolina State. The state of California and California State. One's maritime law, one's the law of the land.
That's what I'm getting to.
Right. I just want to see if I know some of this stuff before you say it, because I have no idea. I was not educated, but I have learned through just sources everywhere my whole life.
Okay, well, back to why I say I don't discuss religion. Like you say, okay, the Bible is not definitions. The Bible is a man's interpretation of a passage.
Allegories and parables.
Yeah, that's the way the words already have definitions. The preacher only takes that passage and say, "This is what I believe it's saying."
And they pick what sermon
and then they teach that. That's why you have so many different denominations teaching, this about this and that, and this is that's why I don't discuss religion, because it's not set in stone what it actually believes to somebody. If we all died and go to heaven, what if God was to sit there and be like, the Buddhists, the only ones that got it right. Come on with me, and everybody else going to hell. So
Well,
when it
there's
comes
lots
to
of questions you can ask that don't make sense. Like people say, 1 minute they'll be complaining about their 18-year-old young person's family that don't believe in religion or whatever, and come out, you're going to go to hell if something goes wrong with it. If that person passes the next day, then
yeah,
at
but
the funeral,
religion
like,
got
well, he's in a
to
better place. We're going to eat supper with him later when we die. No, no, they won't be
yeah,
there. Remember, you just said they're not going to be there. So
religion has questions that they can't answer for me. Like what the fuck is the end of the world? When I
for the
ask
record,
Christians, what's
I'm very spiritual, and I believe in the divine energy and the oneness and a creator. I don't call it a he, a she. I ain't gonna call it no names. I don't label it at all.
I just
know
really don't like discussing religion because there's no
you can't discuss
definite.
politics without it. I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
can, but
but
you're leaving a big part out. I mean,
religion throws in individuals' beliefs instead of what's actual law and what's actual in stone. So I'm gonna go back to Black's Law Dictionary. I'm gonna take like the word mold, for example. You take the word mold and you look it up in Webster's dictionary. It may have a definition that say, "Oh, mold is a mossy substance or a bacteria or a fungus," But then Black's Law Dictionary might say, "Oh, mold means to shape or to form or to make anew." So when you see your name on credit cards, on licenses, on mail,
they're all
and any
capital
legal document, your name is in all capital letters. You don't in school, they teach us in America, they teach us to write the first letter of your name capital and the first letter of your last name capital, rest lowercase. That is a way to identify capitals, dementias, or it's a Latin term for what that means. And when you see your name in all caps, that is not you. That is the legal version of your
Latin
name.
was the first
Yes.
religious language.
So the word birth
go together.
So I'm trying to get to the birth certificate thing. The word birth. You ever heard the phrase "the ship sits at her berth"?
Yeah, it's the birth canal where it's birthed, and you got to give the doc the certificate. That's
okay. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. The word birth. The word birth.
Currency is what comes from you. It flows. The money flow through the bank. It's all maritime terms.
Yet, in legally, the word birth means anything that derives from water.
Yep.
So when you have a cargo ship pulling up to a dock, then you have the ship sitting at her berth. Everything that comes off of that has to get documented by the man standing up there with what he calls a document of manifest or birth certificate. So when something comes out of the cargo, out of the pregnant of the ship, it is now manifested onto the land and has to be documented and serial numbered and tagged. That's why when you have a baby or when mothers have babies at the hospital, they will not let you leave until you name it. You have to have a name and tag this thing. We have to call it something. That's a birth certificate. So your birth certificate becomes a legal fiction, a version of you that's not you. Under Black's Law Dictionary, a person is somebody of sound mind and body. You're not a person yet. So the person that you say you are, Danny, that is the name that was given to you that you will learn to call yourself. But me? I don't go by my real name because that's not who I identify as who I am. I'm Link because that's the name that I'm comfortable with. I'm a sound mind and body person now to say that's who I am. That's not what's on my birth certificate because I didn't choose that. I wasn't able to say what I am. I was taught to say I'm this other name.
Yeah, the Matrix. It's got the energy farms or whatever. Like doing people. Well, that's the same concept of a nursery. A nursery is an energy farm. It's a where your birth products that's going to bring you a currency flow. And the old birth certificate, if any of you can find an older, like from the 60s, it doesn't say mother on it. It says informant. That's because they're informing the doc, like you said, that a product has been delivered into the energy farm that will grow into it's going to produce the rest of his life.
Right. And that little number on the top of your birth certificate, that's not your social security number. That little red number on the top corner, that's your exemplary identification number. That's your EIN number.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number. That's the reason why they put your name in all capital letters on your tombstone, because the government cash in on that. When they say Diddy is worth such and such, or Jay-Z worth such and such, or Mariah Carey is worth such and such, that's because that's how much that person has collected as revenue on their name, on that exemplary identification number on their birth certificate. That makes them a dollar value. So when you die, they cash that money in, and that money goes to the state or the powers that be. The word register, the word arrest, these are not words that we use in what we call common speak. These are legalese terms. The root word of register is regis, means king or sovereign. So when you register something, you basically give it over to the powers that be. That's why people got in the uproar talking about they're coming to take my guns, and they're coming to take, because it's registered not to you. You are the rightful, right. Your straw man, your legal fiction is the rightful carrier and user of that car or that gun. You know, it's registered to the state.
So when you go to court, you have to stand up and state your name. Like they don't have it on paper today. You have to state your name. And that's by law. It's because then you're admitting that you're that person you're talking about.
You're that person.
You're that person on a piece of paper. And a court is.
And you know how to get around that?
These courts is where you play a game. You play a game on a court. And you have two people who are passing the ball back and forth to each other, like the prosecutor and the defense attorney. They're on the same team. They're just playing on the court, and the judge or the Grim Reaper that judges your life in the black robe and sentences
it's a battle of legalese.
Yeah,
it's a battle of legalese in the court. The Miranda rights are the most trickiest words in human literature, because the Miranda rights tell you have the right to shut the fuck up first. It tells you don't say nothing, because everything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. Now, the words court of law, that's just like saying basketball court or football field. That is the name of the arena.
That's right.
The arena is the court of law.
And now, you are a stock. And you make too much money, you're a preferred stock.
Right.
Or you're
it tells
a common stock.
You have the right to an attorney, because this game has to have referees. It has to have all the people in place. If you don't have one, we'll give you one, because that's the only way we're going to play this thing in a court of law, to give you a fair shake. Then it asks you, do you understand the rights to which you have been given? The word understand legally means to stand under the authority of the previous statement. You have the right to say no, because they're not asking for your comprehension. They're asking, do you stand under my words? So when you say yes, you basically give consent to be taken into captivity. So everybody in jail said, yeah, take me.
There's a reason they call it Heaven's Gates and Hell's Gates, because that's the little gate that opens. You have to walk in once you leave the pews in the courtroom. And that little gate, that's why the bailiff has to come over and open that gate, so you willingly walk through that gate to be judged.
Yep.
That's what I mean by religion and politics. They're all entwined. They're completely entwined, and it's very clear to see. Now you taught me about how it works, because I didn't really know all that. I know where these roots come from. I don't. It's not written down on paper like you said, but there is there's obvious, like the women the women just now got the rights back. That was taken by the church a long time ago. The whole rib thing and all that's one thing. But the fact that, first Mary Magdalene was the one that witnessed the resurrection, and she was taken out of the Bible and called a whore. So how are you going to take the person that witnessed the resurrection out? But also the fact that everything is called the he is God's a he. It's all. Doesn't it make more sense that the Holy Trinity was supposed to be the Mother, the Father, and the child? The mother was.
Yeah, but I don't really like discussing religion, because
I know you don't, Wink, but I mean, I know, man, but I mean, That's
I know,
the point. Everybody
it's-
shies away from this when it's talked about.
I know, but it's going to get into beliefs, and then and beliefs
It doesn't
can
have
hold
to.
strong opinions and strong. Okay, well, if you want to get into beliefs, I don't believe in Christianity because Christianity has taught me to praise a white man, and that white man is a blue-eyed, blonde-haired man that was actually taken from Caesar Borgia, the son of the Pope. They taught my people to praise this guy. So I don't really talking religion because my people have been beat down with religion from our own essence to believe this secular belief of this land's laws. So I can.
That's what
So
this
I can.
conversation's for, man. I've been abused my whole life from this belief system that I do not believe in.
Yeah, and see, that's what I mean by woke. I'm woke now, so I can't really talk about the part when I was asleep. Because I have conflicting views from back then, you know, growing up in Alabama.
In a way, a label, though. I mean, because I can talk about whatever I want, and I'm awake too.
Well, it has a different.
I don't feel bad about it because it seems like it needs to be talked about more. It's
yeah, but it's my views and would be considered not Christian because I was raised in a household where my black grandmother had a picture of a white man up on the wall saying that's God, and that's like I stopped believing that a long time ago. That's Santa Claus to me.
The left rejects everything from the right because all the right views are Christian. That's why the left. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like it's like you told me, it's like, man, it's hard for someone who don't understand politics to be able to see the politics. Well, it's not hard for someone who's never been around politics to see that religion and it's the same thing. It's very clear.
From the religion I know, the religion that I know would not let a rapist get away with everything, would not let sex predators get away with everything.
Well,
now we have religion. Now we have politics. We have politics saying, "Oh, well, he's a good Christian. Oh, Matt Gaetz is just a good guy." They just documented that he's a rapist. You know, the Pete Hegseth is a known. Pete Hegseth is a known drunk. His mama don't even like him.
So King James.
Ted Cruz is a jerk that his own family, his own daughters don't even like him, but they get to ride up under Christianity. I don't really like discussing that because it pisses me off with people that call themselves Christian can get away with being rapists and stuff. Like, okay, if these was Christian people, you know, that jumped on at the Capitol, you know, just imagine if that crowd was black, they would have nuked the building.
But can you agree that if people are uninformed about what they're believing in, that it's not them people's.
I don't call none of them Christians. That none of these people are Christians. If you own a military and you tell people to go kill people across seas because they owe us money, that's not Christian-like to me.
Yeah, I think you're.
So I don't think it goes together.
To uphold Christianity. I'm trying to make a connection here.
I can't connect it because what I'm starting to see is what people in the South think Donald Trump is a Christian holier than thou man, and I don't believe that.
Well, that's my point. That's how the Civil War started, was two religious views. But people don't see it that way. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I mean by you're fighting the fight to chop the tree down, and I'm figuring out who planted the seed and how the roots grow.
And I'm already realizing the seeds was planted against me. So it's like, yeah, let's just cut the tree down because it's just in my way.
Well, I mean, we all have a way we can say we're a victim. You know, I mean, slavery's nothing new. Slavery's been going on all across the world since Genghis Khan. It's not a black thing.
I know, but see, this is why I don't discuss religion. This is why I don't like discussing religion at all. I've never ever talked religion. I know. It can go on forever with stuff that we can't prove.
Well, the two most demonized things are politics and religion. That's the two things that cause the most arguments.
Yeah, and
And
I try to stay out of politics because that deals with man's belief. I can't change your beliefs. With politics, I can tell you facts. I can tell you what's written in stone. I can tell you what's law, what's illegal and what's not. I can't tell you what to believe and what not to believe, and you can't tell me what to believe and what not to believe. So it's like I don't discuss religion because it can just go on forever, you know, about our belief system.
Talking about something that's necessarily telling people how to think. I think talking about it is giving people a different way to think about certain things, and not.
Well, but if I was to take my views public, you know how many people are gonna tell me, no, you're wrong. That is Jesus Christ, and you should bow down to him. And I'm gonna be like, fuck that shit. I'd rather bow down to the fucking Easter Bunny.
Well, I've gotten to where I let my anger go, man. So that's why I can talk about it, and I think that's what I'm here for. I think that's why I survived. The things I've survived because like Tool says, I've thrown that grudge away, and I would rather try to shine a light on as much truth as you can, or give people their own path, seek it on their own. But if no one ever changed the world by staying in line, right? Joan of Arc, Air Apostle. No one ever changed the world by staying in line. And you talking about law. Well, the law was the church for 1,500 years. So it's hard to talk about law and leave religion out of it because that was the law. There was no law. And pagan is a term that most people think is a religion. But pagan is simply anything that was not religious.
Which religion is right, though?
None. That's what I'm telling you, that there was many beliefs. But there was this Christianity that tore down everything in its path and put up a church on top of sacred spots. The same way we put up the Washington Monument right on the most sacred Native American land there is in America. Because there's another big monument over right behind it of a big Indian head or a Native American head called the Big Chief. But we covered that up with the Washington Monument of these great leaders. And that's documented history like you're talking about. You can find all this. That is a beautiful monument that the Native Americans had before we ever got here. So it's all calculated, man. It's been calculated for a long time.
Well, if we wasn't from America, we wouldn't be talking about Christianity. If we was in the Middle East, we'd be talking about Muslim. And then you got the Sunnis and the Shiites been fighting for years, and they're going to fight forever. So you're basically talking about human individuals' beliefs. I don't like to fight with
I'm talking about a cult that took over. I'm talking about all the religions that were there. When Christianity come along, they had nothing. And all these religions were already established. Now Christianity is the biggest one in the world.
I don't know. I don't really like discussing it because just the word Christianity just sends a chill up my spine. It just pisses me off. And it sends me into a defensive mode. And I don't like discussing religion because that's going against what you believe in. I don't want to fight with you and your beliefs. I like talking about what's fact and what's fiction.
I don't believe in belief. I think belief is toxic. Because my beliefs change all the time. My beliefs are different than they were a year ago. It's not my belief, man. It's my. I feel like it's my duty to try to talk about anything that people shy away from because that in itself.
I ain't shy away from it. I've woke up and realized that it don't align with my core values as who I am and my I was taught that Christianity is this white man that I should pray to, and I'm just why would I was taught that Christianity
just told me that's your belief, right?
Christianity is telling me that I was born in His image, and it's like that ain't the image that they promote.
Yeah, I just I'm that is the exact same thing as what you just said, though. You don't like talking about beliefs. Well,
I don't believe none. I believe the Bible is a collection of literary works with instructions on how to have moral value. I don't believe that I should. Yeah. I don't believe that I should believe
Sacred
this.
Secret. Remember, we watched that together. We done a thing on it. We're saying the same thing, Link. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I just really don't like talking.
You don't like the label, well, bro. The whole channel's about that.
Because it's just going to go on and on forever of what we individually believe in instead of what's in black and white and what's actually policy and what's right and wrong. Like,
well, belief just turned into politics. It's the same thing.
Well, here's the thing: we have been allies. We have been allies with Canada forever, and that's documented fact. We have Canadian. Yes, we are pretty much one nation. You know, we share the same land. You know, there's an imaginary line that basically says we're two countries, but we're all one people, you know. So I don't I don't like to discuss nothing that you can have a different belief on because we can never come to the same, no matter how you can talk till you turn blue. I'm never going to feel the same way about Christianity as you do.
Right. Well, ain't that what left and right is, though? Two groups of people that ain't never going to believe the same
I
thing.
can tell you, but we can agree that Canada has been our allies, and this guy's fucking it up.
Right.
That's fact.
And there's probably people on the left and right that believe that. So that's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, it's and there's people that don't align with. There's some people that go to the voting ballots and they vote on the issues, but most people just go there and put one side or the other. They have no idea what the issues are.
And
they
see,
just vote Republican or Democrat because that's how they believe them. Still the same way people do with religion.
That's blind ignorance. Because like I was in California when I voted this year, and I looked up every proposition. I looked up every measure. I looked up all of that. I even went around the town of Santa Monica and got to know some of the local towns representatives and councilmen that was in charge. You know, so I can actually get eye to eye and see if I align with their beliefs. I talked to the mayors. I talked to the people that was out there in the street with the clipboards, you know, saying I looked them up. I Googled them. I went and seen, I met this guy. I looked and seen where they lived and what values they actually go by before I vote for these people. I wasn't completely gung-ho about Kamala Harris because as a black man, yes, there is a rift in the black community with having black women in charge already. But I was with her because she does have the right credentials professionally. She is a professional prosecutor. She is a law person. She is upright. She don't have no scandals in her life. She got a family. She was going to keep women's rights. She was going to keep people's rights. She wasn't thinking about trying to take over the Panama Canal in Greenland. You know, so I just look at, I was one of them voters that I really looked at everything down the line. In California, there was a measure of them trying to make it to where there's no more homeless people, you know, to where homeless people will be able to have, you know, access to stuff and programs to be able to get off the streets to clean up the streets of California. You think Trump is doing that? No.
I think those people you're talking about
I voted for that, but that's not what's going to happen.
I think the people you're talking about that are lost and vulnerable and don't know which way to turn.
No, instead of
they can't figure it out. That's when the church scoops them up. That's their targets. Maybe not. I'm not saying people in the church are bad. I'm saying that's what happens. We'll offer you
I'm
an
not
answer.
saying the people in the church
We're
are
gonna tell
bad.
you something that you can't see.
There's too many different churches in the world. There's too many different churches. There's too many values. There's too many beliefs. There's too many religions for me to jump on the bandwagon of one and say which one is right. I can't hold Christianity, Buddhism, Catholicism, Muslim, Jewish beliefs. I can't hold none of this to my heart and say, oh yeah, I'm the one that's got it right.
No.
So I just kind of stay out of that arena altogether because that's up to people. I just respect people's beliefs. I just don't discuss them because religion is grounds for war.
Politics is publicly discussing beliefs.
Yeah, but religion starts wars because I can't tell you not to go to war and fight for your God and your beliefs. That's what starts most of the wars in the past. You know,
America's literally got God and country.
Yeah, it was all about. Well, we believe that God is a Buddha, you know, with a big tummy. Oh, well, we believe he's a guy with long hair. Well, we believe he was a prophet that only lived one. Well, we believe he came from the stars. We believe it's too why. And who's right? That's made up. That's made up people's beliefs. That's not in black and white nowhere. So country is the only thing that has actual say, hey, look, this is what happened. We had World War I, we had World War II, we had Vietnam War, we had Cambodian War, we had Desert Storm War. This shit I can prove.
Well, that's kind of funny to say that religion causes wars and then you just named all the wars that politics cause. I was saying the same thing. I just think you have a lot of personal views, and I do too. I just know there's a lot of people watching, and that's what this is for. If I told you the rage I have against this cult, as I call it, that everybody that is in the name of good preys on people. If I really let you know how bad I am at that,
Yeah,
I feel you. Okay,
I know.
I'm just.
But I just try to stay out of religion altogether because I don't want to trample on nobody's personal
I
belief.
agree. I have stayed out of both politics and religion because they.
But when it comes to politics, that is in black and white. There is history. There's documented in my modern time in my life.
The winners.
I can
The winners
say,
voted down. Yeah.
I can go back and watch documentaries. I can go back and read books on World War I and see that. I can't see if there was a real Jesus. I can't see if there was a real man born, a white guy born in a manger in the Middle East. I can't even believe that, first of all.
We can see that there are several texts in every religion that have similarities. To me, looks like it's the same story. That's something we can see. We can take all these religions and look at the base core of them all.
Like you said, that's text. That's somebody else's words. I can't.
And that's what writing is.
Writing. That's just still somebody's beliefs. That's just not my beliefs. That's not mine. I can't prove it.
The Constitution is based on beliefs.
Huh?
The Constitution is not based on beliefs.
The Constitution is based on a set of moral values to establish a nation under people, that people can agree on.
That beliefs had to have influenced their.
Yeah, but that's just like the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments, is we can agree. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not. We can agree on that. We can, people can say, okay, yeah, that's right. That's kind of got moral value to it. But then when you get down into saying, okay, well, this white couple walked across the Middle East and then they couldn't find nowhere to stay. And then they had to, I don't want to believe that. I just don't want to believe that shit. I just don't. You just give me Santa Claus instead. I believe that before I believe that this happened, because I can't prove that happened. And I don't want to change anybody else's views. That's not my job. That's God's job. And I leave that to him.
I don't think God's male or female. I think God's omnipotent. And I have my own beliefs, but I think maybe anytime I try to talk about this, people take it personal, and it's not personal. It's just research and it's knowledge that may have tend to let people look at it themselves. It's because you say that religion is trying to change people's mind. Well, that's exactly what politics do too. They're literally two people like dysfunctional parents trying to fight in front of the kids for 3 months and raise everybody up and create a dysfunctional family. Two parents that fight in public all the time cannot raise kids without trauma. And that's what our government does.
You're right. But politics fall under the beliefs that I'm living in, not something from the past. Yeah. Okay. Like when Obama was president, he believed in equality. You remember his inauguration? You seen people of all colors, all walks of life. You seen gays, lesbians, straights, black, white, Mexican. You seen everybody is standing hand in hand. But then you look at Trump rally, it looked like a redneck parade. There's not everybody. The American fabric is not represented there because a lot of people don't believe in that bullshit that he trying to. Only a handful of people going to benefit from what he likes. There's not equality there. That's why we have divisive now. There's like he taught people. Go after illegal immigrants. He said that we're going to go after illegal immigrants and we're going to go after illegal. And there's so many bad guys. But then he started lumping it all. You got El Salvador and you got the Mexicans and you got the Haitians eating dogs and cats. He just got to saying random shit that is like, look, I literally lived in Columbus, Ohio, and worked with those Haitians from Springfield, Ohio. They're good people. I never seen nobody bring a fucking dog head to the break room. So when he said that, it was like, come on, man, you're just saying shit to get people to hate certain people. And then when these ICE raids started up, they didn't start just gathering up illegals. They started gathering people that speak Spanish and got black hair. So he taught people to be racist and go after race. Why if we was going after illegals, then why is he going into people's restaurants and grabbing up workers? Why is he snatching up people off the farms? Why is women and children that were born here they ain't the criminals he was talking about? He taught his ICE agents just get them all, just get all the people that's that color and of that race. And that's wrong. He's violating civil rights and he's violating human rights, and he's putting people in place that's basically going to back up what he says. At the same time, he got all these rich people because Trump he's not as rich as people think he is. That's why he kisses the ass of rich people. Remind you, he's went bankrupt a couple times, and bankrupt not to say that he went broke. Bankrupt is to basically say, no, I'm not paying these bills, because anybody that's ever filed bankruptcy know you got 7 years or so to where they can't touch your shit, and then after those 7 years you back in the game. Look how old he is. Imagine how many times he's done that, and this shit got back in the game. So him filing bankrupt ain't basically saying he's a broke man, but he's not a rich man, because he promised people like Elon, well, look, if you give me such and such money, I'll give you power. He promised Jeff Bezos, look, if you give me such and such money, I'll give you this power. Mark Zuckerberg kicked him off of Facebook because he was spreading a lot of propaganda and bullshit there. Twitter kicked him off because he was spreading propaganda and bullshit there. Elon Musk bought Twitter and let him back in, and then it became the most racist platform that we got. Mark Zuckerberg is taking down all of the cancel culture. All of this time where we was going to Facebook jail for saying this and saying that. Oh, now you can get away with anything on Facebook just like you can with X. Why? Because Mark Zuckerberg went to kiss the ring. And then you look at his inauguration, you see all of these rich and powerful politicians, rich and powerful billionaires sitting in front of the politicians. So now
did you see the Democratic with all the richest people in the world coming just to sing that couldn't even read off a teleprompter?
No, I watch how he reads with his finger. Then
why would
looks up?
I wasn't trying to get into this part of it, but just since you say it, I don't have any. I don't have a side I'm picking, but I'm gonna be objective, and none of the Democrats would come on any podcast and talk just with unedited. Trump did that at least. I'm not fighting for him, but I'm just seeing holes in what you're saying.
Yeah, but when he goes
the Democratic Party, they didn't know what to do when their teleprompter went out. They had no idea what to say. They sit there like,
well,
here's the reason why that were paid to be there.
Here's the reason why they have the teleprompter and people write his speeches. But see, you can see it so clear with Trump because he reads like I have to say, see, spot.
Well, 4 hours on Joe Rogan wasn't reading nothing.
Plane, kick the ball, and then he looks up and say, DEI crashed the plane.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that, man.
Like you can tell when he goes off script of what the fuck he's supposed to be saying, then when he just shoots off the hip with his own beliefs.
Like they all do.
Like I said, I've met Ralph Nader. Ralph Nader calls the Republican and Democratic Party Tweedledee and Tweedledum. You know, I believe that
some Baptist preachers will get up and they will literally talk just like Trump does about other religions.
And that's why I don't discuss
religion. Seen it.
Yeah. But when it comes to what's that's why I say critical thinking and media literacy is what you need to know. You know, like know how to decipher the fluff from the bullshit. That's why I don't watch local news. Local news is going to tell me the same thing in every city. It's going to tell me about a car wreck down the street, a house fire, and the weather. That's not really teaching me shit about the world. Watching local news. I've lived in Alabama.
The history of it is really
I've lived in Alabama. I'm now in Kentucky, lived in California, Virginia, Missouri, Kansas, Ohio, Illinois, Texas. I've lived around the map to understand the people of America. I love this country because I've seen a lot of it. But here's another argument. When people get to screaming about gas prices wasn't just finna go down. The last gas station I went to in California, in Barstow, California, when I was driving across the country a few months ago, I left California and the last gas station cost $6.69 a gallon. I lived in Santa Monica where gas was $5.49 a gallon. The cheapest gas station I seen in California, gas was $4.54. When I got over in Arkansas, it was $3.44. When I got over into Texas, it was 322. When I got over into Oklahoma, it was like 289. When I got to Alabama, it was 244. Here where I'm at right now is 250. So for people around the country that ain't never been nowhere to say, I want my gas prices to go down, just move. Because how do you expect other countries to, you expect other states to be screwed? I'm happy with paying $250 right now, opposed to the $6 I was paying in California. You pay where you stay.
Every state has their own laws anyway. I've never understood the purpose of Capitol Hill.
Yeah, I never understood everybody saying that
because all the states, they can go into the Congress with their senators and make laws and pass bills without Capitol Hill. Remember, Capitol Hill is purely to divide people. There's no other way to even look at it. I mean, it's literally called left and right. You got to pick one. And another way they use words against us, we elect a president, but it's selected for us, the candidates.
Yeah.
We're not really selecting anything that we want. We have a choice, like the tests with the educational system works with A, B, C, or D. I think that's bullshit too. Get away with that. Get away from that, and actually make people find an answer, because multiple choice don't work. It's pretty obvious. And so we were saying the same things. Like we were literally saying the same things. I'm just looking at a historical and a worldview, and America's just part of that. So I met people all around the world now through this channel, and we all don't think that differently, man. The differences are our religious and political views. Other than that, there really aren't that many differences. Cultural views don't cause arguments. Political and religious do. And that's why I'm so passionate about making sure people know about both. Because if people think, no offense, Link, but if people think that they're separate, I think that's a dangerous. I think that's a cycle that can never be broken, because
that's where we are now.
That's the same thing as splitting the country. They want you to think politics, religion are different, because when people get too vulnerable from being warped by politics, the church scoops them up, and vice versa. When you get tired of the church, you go to politics. It's a vicious cycle. And
that's where we are now. People don't realize that we are the same, and people are looking at differences now because differences are being promoted. You know, people are being told, no, you're different. You know, you're not these people that come over here and see, America did it to itself. Trump is guilty of it himself. All businessmen. I've worked in warehousing for a long time. And in warehousing, I've worked with a lot of Mexicans. I've worked with a lot of Hispanics. I worked with a lot of people from Honduras. I worked with a lot of people from India. I worked with a lot of people from Haiti. I worked with a lot of people from Nepal. I've worked in all of these different states. But
let me ask you a question, Pete. Separate from what? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
I lost. I'm trying to figure out.
Separate from what, though?
Separate from what? And what's the context? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand. I see your comments now up.
Yeah, what you mean, Cosmic?
I want to answer your question. Because, I mean, it's
See, what I'm seeing is, you're not gonna feel what I feel. We gonna see Trump is every time something happens. Well, it's DEI and these diverse policies and these diverse hires and these okay. Well, DEI, you said it gets dangerous.
Let me answer that real quick. Because the largest money-making entity on earth is the Catholic Church. The only nation that doesn't have to claim a deed for land or taxes or let anyone investigate them is the Catholic Church, which is about
all religions are tax-free institutes.
But there's no plot of land on earth that doesn't have a deed to it from someone except for the Vatican. It doesn't have there's no one that can say anything. It's literally like it's a loop in the system. And by the way, all Democratic and Republican leaders kill on the vote. And that's because there are so many maritime.
That's because there's respect for that position. There's a respect for that
about
position.
the abuse and stuff. The Catholic Church gets away with all that because they're They have over 340,000 cases of male-on-male abuse. And it's just not even, it can't be, the murders of the popes, it just can't be, no one can do anything about it because it's a monopoly, and it's because of people being scared to talk about it that this is dangerous, Pixie, and that's my answer. I mean, it's
Well, look at the Vatican. Look at the
whether
Vatican
people
itself.
want to talk about it or not, it's the same. It's our country runs the same way our Catholic Church does. You go to the judge to confess your crime, just like you go to the booth to confess your sins, to the man that has the power to.
Yeah, and see, that's what I don't believe in doing that. I don't
I'm
believe
not
that's
saying
bullshit to
people
me.
should. I'm saying it's the same thing. It's the same concept. It's literally,
And Vatican City is a country built inside of a country. The Vatican was
I
built.
think, yes, Carol. I think people need to focus more on what they agree on instead of our differences, and try to come to some kind of common ground, and then that makes it easier to discuss the differences because
Yeah, I don't think
everyone
people can
points out the
find
difference.
common ground. People don't find common grounds in religion. You know, that's why there will always be wars
Nor
between
politics. No offense,
like,
Lee, but what the
okay.
hell?
Okay, so why would Trump want to ban? Why would Trump want to ban Muslim studies and
Well,
ban
I'm talking
Muslims?
about politics. Everyone, and not just Trump. But that's why I got so upset on Facebook. Is no Trump. Not so. This is the way the government does this, in my opinion. You can't ever say it's the government's fault because they're just going to say, well, no, it's the left or it's the right. There's no blame ever going to be placed on the government itself. It's always placed on one end or the other. Diversion. It's like a shield. You can't call the government out because it was the left that done it. You can't call it because it was the right. Now, this is so obvious to me, but I'm always demonized for saying it because people think I'm trying to impose my belief on my belief. I'm dying. I face my divinity and my morality, and I realize that morals and laws are two different things, and there is no really wrong and right because what I see is right, you may see is wrong. What I see is right.
No, I don't. That's why I said I don't really like to discuss religion because I don't like to put an opinion on somebody's beliefs. I refuse to. I just like to stay out of that area because my belief. I don't want you telling me I'm wrong because I say fuck Christianity. You know, from the bottom of my heart.
I get it, but you're saying fuck Republicans. It's the same thing, Link.
I'm not. Republicans. It's not really. It's not the same thing to me. Religion and politics are not the same thing, and I just won't put them together. It's just like saying Santa Claus and politics are the same thing. It's just not. I don't believe in Santa Claus. I just don't fucking believe that shit.
Well, I mean, everyone that wrote the Constitution were religious,
but they were real people. They were real people that I can document and look up. I can look up John Hancock and Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin and George Washington.
Have you ever seen all the debates in politics about bringing God back and don't take prayer to school? I mean, is that part not that?
I don't think prayer should be in school, actually, because you got so many different
I'm not asking you to believe. I'm saying that isn't that a part of politics? Majorly, isn't that a huge issue every year, no matter who's in office?
I don't get it.
But trying to bring God, so many people say the problem is they took God out of the government and God should be put back in.
But everybody in America is not Christian.
I get that. Like we're saying the same thing.
You can't force that belief on a whole nation of individual people from all over the world.
I agree. That's my point. Is the political landscape is totally influenced by their religious beliefs.
But this
that
country
cannot be separate.
Okay, so what's America's religion?
I don't see Americans having religion. I know what the government is mainly Christian, and
right.
Especially the
Republicans. A Muslim can't be president of the United States.
I'm not saying that.
A Buddhist, no, because that belief that it should be a Christian there.
That's my point of how religion influences politics. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think you understand what it does to my blood pressure inside just even talking about religion, because I know
at the end of this, it's not really about who it offends. I mean, it's about telling the truth.
Because I don't believe in none of that shit. I just don't believe in none of it. From Muslim,
that's a good thing. But
from Catholicism, from Buddhism, I don't believe in not a goddamn bit of it. Like that.
But a lot of people do, so it makes it important.
It makes it important for me to have my own beliefs, that I don't believe in that bullshit that I can't prove.
All right. Well, I mean,
I can't prove none of that
politics are right or wrong.
I can't prove that Muhammad was a prophet, and I can't say that, that he was the rightful heir of God himself, and his words is I just can't believe that shit, first of all.
I'm not trying to convince you to believe anything. I'm pointing out how it's a cult, and it's
a cult.
It influences everything in politics. I'm not trying to make you believe it.
Here's the thing with Democrats and Republicans. Republicans always had the motto of the rich, keep the rich rich and keep the poor poor. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. That's what they always believed in.
Actually, the landscape's kind of flipped. When I was a kid, it was opposite. And
well, no, right now, because the Republicans are all about keeping rich people in power and stepping on the backs of the poor people to get there.
There's old Alabama songs that sing about the Democrat being about the poor man. So, I mean,
because back in people, I hear a lot of people say that, but you're going back to a time when there was civil rights. I know people say that. Oh, the Democratic Party used to be this. There was a time when there was no civil rights, and so everybody thought that. So, yeah, I can't sit here and say that the 1950s didn't have racist Democrats. The whole country was racist then. But over time, one side had to come to grips and say, hey, look, something has to help the people. And the other side said, fuck the people, keep the machine going. So you got to realize, some people benefit from the machine running. Some people benefit from government assistance. The government, the left and right, figured that part out. That stuff is in fact. That stuff ain't got nothing to do with religion.
Okay, well, answer me this then. Before the 1500s, there were no such thing as law. But there was law for 1500 years, and that was called the church. So how in the world are you separating that? I mean, really, I just want to know how can law not be influenced by religion if the law was
okay. Put this into play. We have 200 AD, and then we have 200 BC. How come? What was people praising before Christ?
Every different belief systems all around the world. In fact, I think the story of Christianity
came along, and it went to country and said, look, you're going to praise this cross or else. We're going to burn you at the stake if you don't believe in it.
Right.
And after a while, people just say, hey, look, if they come around, just say we with this shit because they're going to kill us. And then next thing you know, you have people just, we going to be this and we going to sing in hallelujah. And then America was created. The youngest country in the world. There is no ancient America like ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient China. America is pretty much the world's new shopping mall. It's roughly 400 or 500 years old. This country was built on a collection of other people's beliefs and the free world to come here so they can practice their religious freedoms and their beliefs. So now we all got to say, it's all supposed to be under Christianity because Muslims ain't welcome here. Buddhists ain't practice here. It
mirrors the past. You had, like you said, like different countries have been established forever. All these older religions were established forever. You got America comes in and brand new that comes in and dominates everything. The same way Christianity come in and dominated all the religions. And the same way America sends military bases out to stand up in every single damn place they can. It's the same way the Christians sent churches out to dominate the pagans or the anything that wasn't American and put a church.
Is everybody in our military Christians?
Like I think you're trying to. That's not what I'm saying, bro. I'm saying it all.
That's why I don't like discussing religion, because I don't want to change beliefs, and I don't want mine.
I'm not changing beliefs. Everything you say, I can point out where religion mirrors politics. And if you can show me a difference, then I'm glad.
I'm telling you the difference. I'm telling you the difference. Religion is a human's belief from their heart. Politics is on paper in black and white and has documented history.
There's documented history that goes back to Egypt. I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. That's
I can tell you more about World War I than I can tell you about Jesus walking the earth.
But you can only tell what's been written down. You ain't there.
But there's historical documents, and there's video, and there's films, and there's footage, and then there's monuments to people that died. There's a whole.
There were monuments in my town till they got tore down too.
It's in stone.
So
okay, well, where's Noah's Ark? Where's Noah's Ark? Where's the Holy Grail? You know, where's these things that we still? Where's all this bullshit that they try to make us look for in religion? This shit don't exist.
You heard me when I said stories. These are age I have, right? I mean,
I don't really like discussing religion at all, because, okay, what's the end of the world? When I ask Christians, what's the end of the world? They'd be like,
it's the end of an age, I think. It's literally the changing of the guard. So I think the four horsemen of the apocalypse is when the institutional, the educational, the pharmaceutical, the political, and the religious walls fall down and everything's reset. That's what I think Armageddon and the apocalypse is. It's not the end of the world. It's when, I'm just, you asked me.
I know, I get you. I know. That's why I say I don't like discussing religion, because
we update everything in the world. We update our phone, we update our house, we update building codes, but we don't update none of the important things.
And see, your idea is different from what somebody else gave me an answer to. Somebody else said, the end of the world is when God rapture his people. Okay, well, that's not the end of the world if there's going to be people left. Oh, well, it's going to be the end of these people and this people. Well, that's still not the end of the world. What I consider the end of the world is this whole planet being plucked the fuck out the solar system. Well, that's the end of the world. If there's still going to be
beliefs, I'm not talking about beliefs. I'm talking about what has happened to shape politics from religion. I'm not trying to push beliefs on nothing. Dave's right. The Constitution is based on Judeo-Christian beliefs, so
but you see how it can be separated. On and on and on and on and on and on.
You can do that with politics too.
But we can talk about facts. But we can talk about facts in politics. We can talk about history. We can talk about what's on black and white. We can sit here and say it's wrong to just racially profile people and then write a policy for it. I'm seeing this in real time. You can't really just get me to. Okay, first of all,
we need to come to a day where we don't bring up race at all.
Have you ever seen Zeitgeist?
It's not a yeah. I told you. Remember? Man. I think that's what I mean about I think Christianity comes from sailors and sailing, and the Southern Cross is in Australia that you only see from the southern continent, and the Three Kings is known as the Orion's Belt, which points to Virgo and the Southern Cross. So it's literally the Virgin.
It's astrological.
Three kings led them because there wasn't three motherfuckers in the desert. Think about it, the nativity scene has animals and stuff, but it was supposedly happened December 25th.
Right, that's what they call. That's
how they other garden and shit.
That's what they call anthropomorphized. That means they looked at the stars and the movement of the stars, and in order to make it make sense to the children, they said, "Oh, it was a frog, or it was a man, or it was a dog, or it was a woman." It was so that shit don't make sense to me on this earth when I believe it's astrological, and then people turned it into a man and a guy with a boat, and then
okay. Well, we ain't got to focus on that. We can just focus on the facts. The facts are just like we said that every age society had astrology. They have ways that they tracked the stars in the constellations and the equinoxes, which is where all of our holidays, government holidays, and pagan and religious holidays all line up. That's not hearsay. That's a fact.
Well, Christianity was lifted right off the hieroglyphs of Egypt out of the story of Horus and Set.
Right.
So they changed it.
If astrological, it's day and night.
If daytime was Horus bringing light and bringing fruit and brightness into the world, and then at nighttime, Set comes down and sends Horus into the underworld, and then it's a battle that goes. I don't believe that shit. That's anthropomorphized for people to understand the difference between day and night. I don't know how to sit here and pray to that. That's just science. That's the way the world turns around the sun and revolve. That's science to me. That's not no man with a circle on his head and a guy with a falcon face. It's not that to me. I don't believe. I only get upset trying to put that in my head because that's not real shit. And then Christianity was lifted right off from that.
I'm looking at how everything's similar that lines up. I'm not.
Have you ever seen Zeitgeist? It tells you everything.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah, about the December 22nd, so where the sun's low spot in the sky. The first 3 days it stands still. On the 25th day, it starts coming back, and that what
makes more sense to me.
And Christmas is really about salvation, bringing presents for the long winter because we didn't used to have abundance in grocery stores and stuff. So yes, like I know that's what I'm saying. But
and the death of the sun was the actual sun on December 21st, being at its lowest point in the sky, and then it sat dormant for 3 days and then began to rise. Hence, bringing forth the new days of spring. When the spring equinox is when it's the longest day of sunlight of the year. It's science to me. It's not no man doing this shit. Especially no white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. So it's like I don't really like discussing religion because I'm only gonna get mad because it's nothing I can prove there.
Well, the only person keeps bringing up race is you, bro. I mean, we're not having a racial. I'm not pointing out anything about racism. Like, I'm not
saying that. I'm just saying like it was
anthropomorphized.
They threw a face on it. They threw a face on it and said, believe this. And I just don't. I just don't believe it. I just won't believe it. Something in my soul tells me that's some bullshit every time I try to wrap my head around it. I can't really get to the bottom.
When I was a kid, man, all my life, I've seen the same hypocrisies in both. And
yes,
the older I get, the more I see that
many religions have a similar creation story.
No, I mean politics and religion. It's been the two things my whole life that tried to promote this damn thing that we all could do ourselves. I mean, we can. No one would need to work for the man or whatever you say. There's plenty of resources on this earth. If we would quit dividing it all in two with politics and religion, if they would stop doing that, we could all just be a world where everybody helps each other out through this. It takes a village to raise a family. And if everybody could live by that motto and quit worrying about beliefs, like you said,
and that's why I say you got too.
No one would have to work for someone else. No one would have to worry about who has the most money because everybody would share this Garden of Eden that's right here in front of us, instead of looking at it as a courtroom or as a church or as a waiting room for.
And that's why I say you have too good of a heart because that ship has sailed.
Well, a lot of people thought ships have sailed till someone done something about it.
Yeah, I mean, people have that belief, but we're not going to get the world to come to a line and say, yeah, we just gonna sing Kumbaya and just forget it all because we still.
See, I can't believe that. There's nothing in me that can believe that there's no way that we can change this.
I can't.
I can't believe that. So I know we can.
Well, you have to have a whole new human race because you can take every single human. You can take every single human in the world, and we can agree with what you're saying right there. And it's fact that we should be able to just sing Kumbaya and just get along. But you're gonna have 2 or 3 people saying, "Hey, look, while they not looking, we finna get rich. We finna get over on this."
Every single government's gonna have factions where they don't agree with each other.
And then it's going to start all over. The division is going to start all over again. Utilitarianism and totalitarianism. It's going to always have two different beliefs. People are going to have their own way of saying. It's just like the same way that Africans was taken to become slaves. There was no.
Wait a minute. What? Africans weren't taken from nowhere.
Well,
Africans met white people on the shore and sold them to us. Nobody went and took Africans. That's not right, Link. That's not right.
Okay, so what's
called the African slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade. Is
based in somebody.
White people jumped out of the boat and went and. I believe
that this country was in its founding days, and they said we need some other people to do the work out here in the heat.
Do you know the history of Irish slaves?
Let me finish. I believe that there was a group of people that said, "Hey, look, we can get them people over there. They have rich land and they got strong backs and they can take this heat. Let's get them and take them over there." Other than that, why was there shackles and beatings and people thrown off boats and illegal slave trade? That was nothing that nobody volunteered and said, "Hey, yeah, I want to go do that."
How do we acquire them?
People, they will manipulate. Because if you can take a group of people that's not thinking about trying to divide and conquer, you can manipulate them.
No, I'm asking a simple question. How were the slaves acquired?
Because somebody came over there and said, "Hey, look, we'll promise you this and we'll promise you that and we'll take you here." Or you can look at the movies in history where it's documented that people were actually captured and put on boats and brought back over here. Why you think they had the illegal slave trade? Somebody was doing something wrong.
Right, but they were captured by the African warlords and sold to the white people. They're still there right now. There's more slaves in Africa right now than in the history of the United States put together.
See, when people say that, I can look it up, but there's a difference. Over there, it's not. No, it's not. It's a difference because over there, to work as a slave wasn't called slavery. It was servitude. It was a privilege to be in the castle. It was a privilege to be among the elites. It was a privilege to work and serve.
Documentaries now where they're over there right now, crying their eyes out, stuff being took from their family. Man, little kids being took by the African warlords and taught how to fight, and literally yanked out of villages.
Okay, well, you just said that didn't happen. See, this is why I don't.
What do you mean that didn't happen?
Can we just not? I just really don't want to talk religion and none of this. You keep bringing up points that's contradicting my beliefs, and that's why I don't want to tell you. That's why I say I don't like talking about people's beliefs.
I'm not trying to contradict
you to fuck
your
with mine, and I don't want to fuck with yours. Like, can we just not? I don't want to. I want to talk politics. And politics and religion ain't the same to me. Politics is something that people believe from their heart, and they can go to the grave and they can go to war for it. You can kill me over what you believe. I can kill you over what I believe. That's religion. If I believe that my God is my Savior has my back, and I will take up the sword against thee.
So that's what religion. Are the politics having wars over?
What? They're having wars against trying to control people's minds and say, "Hey, look. These people over there are bad, and this is going to get you more money. I'm going to help you out with this, and I'm going to help you out with that." You're not fucking with my beliefs. You fucking with shit I can actually see.
Yeah, well, the Christian churches who taught everybody to do that. Mind control.
Okay, so you saying Christianity trumps everything, right?
You think I'm taking up for it when I'm exposing? I'm trying to expose. I don't disagree. Then
I just cannot discuss, because every time I hear the word Christianity, all I can think is fuck Christianity. That's my rebuttal to that.
But you're literally sitting there saying you don't want to talk about beliefs, but you're sitting there telling me all your beliefs. I'm not trying to tell you my beliefs. I'm literally just talking about factual things.
I just don't want to talk about religion, because religion is not I don't do religion. I just don't do it.
But I can't be fake and sit here and act like they're not the same thing. I can't do that, Link.
And I can't really put them in the same box.
I mean, we can agree to disagree on that, but I can sit here and point out a million things that mirror each other, and you haven't really gave me any evidence how they're not the same thing. The law was literally the church.
There's only one difference I can tell you. Religion is something you believe from your heart, from your soul, that you will die for. Politics is something I can see in front of my face.
That you believe and you would die for.
No, I will not.
What is the army doing then? The soldiers that go fight for something they don't even know what's going on.
They're giving orders. They're called orders, and people fighting for their country.
Yeah, this order, you've never heard that, but that's literally where it comes from. The order you're talking about.
Yeah, but okay. Well, what religion is the military? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, you take a mix of people, Muslims, Catholics, blacks, whites, Asians, and stick them in one military and think they all Christians because they work for America?
Everyone said.
I don't like discussing religion at all. I really don't. It takes me to a place where I'm gonna get defensive because
it does me too. Oh, hold on, you ain't alone.
I've said over and over in this. I've said over and over in this chat. I don't want to talk about religion because it gets here. It's my beliefs against your beliefs and what you believe in your heart and what I believe in my heart. And my heart.
I'm not talking about beliefs, and you don't know what I believe. I never said I believe in Christianity.
I know, but you believe in religion, and I don't.
No, I don't. What? Whoa, hold on. Whoa, when did I ever say that? I've never been religious. Not one. Whoa, hold on. I don't. No, I do not do it. No labels. I'm not religious. I'm not political. I do not believe in any labels whatsoever. I have never.
Okay, so how did we
knows that? Please don't say I'm religious. No.
Okay, well, why did we get religious? If you're not religious, okay, if you're not religious, then we should. Okay, if you're not religious, then you should agree with me when I say fuck Christianity. If I say fuck Christianity,
the similarities in it very clearly.
Okay, and say Christianity is bullshit and agree with me.
No, then you're trying to push your belief on me.
Exactly. So you believe in
something.
When
have I told you to believe anything? I
don't believe in no Christianity, Buddhism, Muslim, Wiccan. I don't believe in no religion.
Say you did. How am I telling you anything about how you believe, Link?
Because even discussing
it is similarities in politics and religion.
Discussing religion. Let's just talk about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Because I have more belief in them than I do any of those books and Bibles.
I'm asking you a simple question. When have I ever told you to believe in religion? When have I ever said I'm religious?
Because you keep saying that Christianity and religion goes with politics, and it's you can't have politics without Christianity.
But I've given you many examples where they mirror each other.
And I'm telling you, that's your belief. My belief
on paper, it's God and country. You separated that, act like the God wasn't there.
Okay, which God? Buddha?
I don't know. I'm telling you what's on paper, man.
Jesus?
It doesn't matter which God. If religion, that's my point. There is no different gods.
Is it Krishna?
My personal belief is it's the same God. Everyone's talking about the same being. That's my personal belief. If you want to know, that's my personal belief. We're all talking every story is similar,
and that's what I'm saying. You believe that there is a religious institution?
No, whoa.
Okay, so what are you saying?
That.
Okay, so
I believe all religions are talking about the same thing. I did not label it nothing.
Okay, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, what I'm trying. You saying all religions are saying the same thing? I'm saying
belief,
and exactly. And I don't want to change your personal belief because my belief is religion in itself.
Really no matter who it is.
Okay, just let me finish. Your belief that all religions are teaching the same thing. My belief is religion itself is shit in any form.
Okay,
there is no such thing.
True or not?
I ain't saying it's true. I'm saying it don't exist to me. Whether they teaching the same thing or not, that shit don't exist. My belief is fuck religion altogether in any form, in any color.
Well, no offense, but you're not being objective at all. You're definitely letting your bias. I ain't telling nothing.
I'm not telling you my belief. I'm telling you my belief is.
But you told me several times that I'm religious, and you've also told me that religious.
Okay, because you believe it exists. I don't believe it exists.
I did not say that. I said they all mirror each other. There's similarities in them.
So
How is that?
you acknowledging that they exist?
Like anybody that knows me knows I have said this. I can go back and show you videos from 3 or 4 years ago where I'm saying the exact same thing I'm saying now.
Well, that's why I don't like talking about religion, because I don't believe in none of the shit is what I'm trying to tell you.
And I don't
believe they teaching the same thing. I don't believe in the shit, period.
Okay. You're the one that don't believe, not me.
I don't care what book you pull out. I don't believe in it. Like, you believe they teaching the same thing, and I'll tell you, burn all the books, no matter what they teaching.
Well, you just said that politics is important because it's written down on paper, Link. You just said that, bud.
Because those are laws of the land. Like I explained Black's Law Dictionary. I explained, legalese. That stuff that is. Yeah, I can prove that stuff exists. Those are not beliefs. Those are not beliefs. Those are not religious values. Those are laws of the land that people have agreed to go by. I don't believe in no religion. I don't believe religion should exist, because that's what separates people, is having different core beliefs from their own heart. I don't want to change none of that. I just don't like discussing religion because I don't have a belief in the existence of religion.
I never said I did either.
So I don't give it no credit, no praise, no conversation. I don't put nothing. I have no input in that tank.
But you can't see how politics developed from it.
Oh my God. No, I don't even believe in it. I don't believe in it. I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say, that politics was born from religion, but I don't give religion the power over politics.
But you do realize that most of the world has a religious belief.
I don't care, because I don't believe in that shit.
But that's what I mean by objective. You can't.
I believe in what's in stone and what I can prove, because religious beliefs and
we
religious
can prove
stories,
that the world's been influenced by religion.
But religion is full of stories that I cannot prove. Religion is based in stories from somebody else's
called out
art.
On everything they've ever done that they were lying, telling the stories, fairy tales, both sides. They've been called.
So why ain't we found the Holy Grail? Why ain't we found Noah's Ark? I can't believe in that shit. I can't believe the whole world was flooded for 40 days. I can't believe this man stuck every animal on a boat. I can't believe that. I refuse to believe.
Right. You're acknowledging the influences, but you're just calling it something else.
I just don't like talking religion at all, because I don't give it the power over me. I don't give it the power in my life. I don't like religion.
Okay. I mean,
I just keep that shit away from me. We can talk politics, because I can see Pete Hegseth right here on TV right now with his hand up on a Bible, like that means something. Like he ain't sitting here telling me,
I wouldn't even bring that up, man.
He still ain't a fucking racist to me. Like he's a fucking newscaster, that got in charge of the fucking Pentagon. Why you got your hand on the Bible? I'm looking at that on TV right now. Like
religion, man. Everything in Martin Luther King's message was religious.
Martin Luther King was getting us killed.
He was religious. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
exactly. Telling black people in the South to praise the white Jesus. Just go along with it. Keep your head down. Stay low. That's why I believe more in Malcolm X. Malcolm X was teaching people, look, you have rights.
White people.
You can pick up a gun. You are a human. You are a man. You live in the same country as these people do. Malcolm X was teaching people you don't have to be shit on. Malcolm X was telling them, oh, look, I don't care if they stick milkshakes in your head.
Just you don't think it was racist that he told everybody to hate white people? I like a lot of Malcolm X teachings, but right there on paper.
You got to put yourself back in that time.
I don't have to, Link. I look at.
Well, you got to understand the reason why these people had those frames of mind. But you have to really put yourself back in history and understand why people believed what they believed. Just like we were saying that the Democratic Party was all racist.
You just told me let's don't go back to history and think about religion.
I'm not doing religion. I'm talking about politics. I'm talking about politics. Just like you said, the Democratic Party was, people say this all the time. Well, you know, the Democratic Party, it used to be racist. Yes, it used to be because the whole country was racist at that time.
No,
Yes.
Lane, how do you know that?
Oh my God, because history proves that why did black people and women have to fight for rights if it was
people were told that? I know good and well in the South everyone was not racist. And religion started that war, the Civil War. In Wyoming or something, it was the Mason-Dixon line where it went, and the religious belief that every man has the God-given right to own slaves. It had
we was raised in two different households. Right in front of your face. Look, all I can say is we was raised in two different households, and I'm from Alabama.
But I don't have an agenda, man. I'm not trying to push any belief.
I know, but I don't want to. I really do not like talking about religion. I just really hate talking about religion. I really do not have and claim or acknowledge religion. Yeah,
exactly.
Jesus was not white. Therefore, I'm tapped out of the whole conversation because this country is going to keep telling me that and keep wanting me to believe that. And I just tapped out of religion because you quit force feeding some shit to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll say. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be that way. But I mean, I didn't realize it was going to opinion that bad.
No, I said from the jump. I said from the jump. I do not talk about religion. I do not talk about religion because it's only going to remind me of how it was beat into people. How people died for just because they didn't believe it. How people had killed other people because they said, "Look, you gonna believe this or not?" You can't tell me
same thing as the government, man. Literally, people die all the time in war for the belief of the government, how they believe. That's the whole point of war. Two governments and their beliefs clash, and war happens. And it's usually influenced by religious beliefs and cultural differences.
I get that. But I'm not fighting a war, and I'm not going to war over no Bible.
So you were. I said,
I get it. That's why I said that from the jump. Religion is grounds for war. Because you cannot change. If you got this group of people saying that they believe in the eagle is God, and then you got these people over here believing that the peacock is God, them people gonna fight because of what they believe in. And you can't change them people's beliefs if they're raised to believe that. I was raised to believe some shit that just don't make sense. And once I woke up from it, I don't believe in none of it because none of it makes sense to me now.
Yeah, the British is actually who went to Africa to stop the slave trade too. The British sued. And actually, America was the country that.
Have you seen the movie Amistad?
I'm not talking about a movie. I'm talking about.
No. These are movies based on real real times in history of things that actually happened.
I'm not really into nothing that's scripted though. I'm like,
I know, but see, that's the thing about being black. We have to learn our history through what's being told and what's being showed. And some of that shit don't make sense.
Do anything because you're black.
Huh?
What do you mean you have to do something because you're black?
No, because our history, if I want to see something about slavery, I got to see it in a movie or read it in a book, or because I wasn't there.
I've been told I couldn't rethink my whole life, but it ain't because I'm white.
And from what I can see, black people were told you can't learn to read, just believe what I say. I am your God and you're my property.
Yeah, this is who been beating my head about religion. Is I was born bad and a terrible person. I need to bow down to somebody. Man. I mean,
I just don't have I don't put no faith. I don't give no acknowledgement to religion. I just will not. I just cannot.
But you do acknowledge religion has dominated the world for all the time.
Yes, but my personal belief is I don't follow any. I don't follow any of them. I understand.
I'm asking how to have a conversation about politics without it. I'm asking how to do that.
I'm not saying that we can't. I'm not saying that we can't have a conversation of politics without it. But my belief in religion is that religion is something that
beliefs. I haven't, Link. I have not, man. We can watch it back.
I know, but my belief in religion is something that comes from a person's heart and their beliefs, and politics
Right.
is
And I'm
something
trying
that's
to do
written
this
in
without
stone.
bias. I have very much feelings of my own, but I could say that I'm trying to be objective and talk about what people
I
are
have
doing.
okay. I'm telling you, we can talk about religion all you want, and my views won't change that it's no different than Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. I'm just saying that religion is grounds for war because people can go to war and fight and die and kill for what they believe in.
Yeah. No, anything.
With politics, nobody's really fighting and dying over Republican and Democrat.
That's so wrong.
Nobody is going up in arms at each other. Democrats
The government
and
didn't have
Republicans.
drafts, man, and make people go fight and die. The government didn't take heroin and bring it in here for years.
I'm talking about
in the
you're talking about the government. You're talking about the government as a whole.
That's politics, man. The government
That's
is politics.
But you're talking about the government as a whole. I'm talking about when you have two different sides.
But I'm not separating them. You are. I don't separate the government into left and right. Okay, and I don't separate religion into religions.
I have to look at reality. There's
reality is not. That is what you're told to think. You're literally doing what you say you don't want to do. You're listening to a government tell you to pick a side.
No, I'm living in a life where one side of the government saying black people shouldn't work, and the other side says, "Hey, we should give them food."
That's my point. There shouldn't be two sides.
Okay, but it is, and I gotta acknowledge that truth. That is a fact. That is a truth. I can prove that there's two sides of government more than I can prove Jesus walked the earth.
You ain't got to prove Jesus walked the earth, but there's religion everywhere. That's man.
I can prove that there's Democrats and Republicans. I can prove that there's a left and right.
You can't prove there's a church on every corner. You can't prove that. You can't prove there's a church on every corner.
I can't prove the stories that they believe.
The inauguration, don't they go to a church?
I cannot prove the stories that religion is based in. I cannot prove the stories that religions are based in.
You can prove there is religion, though, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying, man.
Yes, there is religion. I just don't give them power because of the stories that they're based in.
This really ain't about just me and you. I thought this was about.
I know, but that's why I really wanted to keep religion out of it because I don't give religion power.
But no offense, man, but people like you are what I think being awake. Maybe woke people are half asleep, man, because if you see it that way, you cannot do it. You cannot be awake and bullshit. You cannot be awake and religion.
So what? So what should I be saying? Yeah, what should I?
I didn't say you had to believe in it.
What do you feel I should
there?
What do you feel I should be saying about religion?
I don't feel you should do nothing. I'm just having a conversation.
So what's wrong with me saying I don't believe in this shit?
It's not that. It's you saying that basically it has no influence on anything else.
I'm saying religion. I said religion is grounds for war. And I don't discuss religions because the basis of religions are people's hardcore beliefs.
I'm asking you, is that not the basis of politics? Is that not why we have left and right? Hardcore beliefs that people die on a stone for.
For religion?
No, for politics.
So what you talking about religion for? Because I wanted to talk about politics.
Literally said that they aren't correlated. They're separate, right? You're saying that religion lets people die for what they believe in. And I'm asking you, how does politics not? I'm not trying to make you believe anything, but they're not separate.
I'm not saying people don't die over
politics. We've been separate by numerous words.
I'm just saying religion and politics ain't the same to me. It's just not.
I never said they should be. I just said to have a conversation, you have to include the other. If you want to talk about war and belief and systems and racism and unity, and you cannot leave out religion.
This is the most I've talked about religion in the past 20 years because I just refuse to stay out of the
And
arena.
that's not
of
what
talking
you used most. I'm
religion.
talking about politics, and I appreciated that.
I can talk about politics because I can prove this shit. It's happened in modern history. It's happened in documented history.
Are there not
Religion,
churches on the corner everywhere right now?
yeah, based on stories I can't believe.
That don't matter. It's still. Oh man.
Can you prove World War II happened? If you can prove World War II happened, then I can. If you can agree that World War II actually happened or Vietnam actually happened, then I can ride with you on that. But if you sit here and say there's a such thing as Armageddon coming, I'm out.
Link, I have not said nothing about my beliefs, but I'm not going to sit and deny that religion is not there. And just because I don't believe it, I don't believe in it either.
I get what you're saying, but what validity are you putting that into the conversation of politics to make it make sense to me?
You want me to start from the bottom and begin and again compare everything how politics works and religion? And
yeah, because I'm really like lost, and this is why I don't talk religion. You talk about it because I have no views other than fuck religion.
Okay, war is the biggest similarity over belief. And two opposing factions arguing over the specifics of a story or a constitution is literally the same thing. The fact that all politicians go to churches and they're sworn in on Bibles and all these things are obvious references that they are correlated. The Pope has more stock in America than any other institution. Every president that's ever been elected goes and visits the Pope. That's
okay. So is every president Catholic?
What?
So is every president Catholic?
Link, when did I say that?
Okay, so what's the Pope then? What's his religion?
Why are they there?
Because that's another major institute of Catholicism is pretty much a government policy. It's a large institution of the world.
Why are they swearing on a Bible?
I don't know. It's bullshit to me. Why aren't they swearing on the Quran?
I agree, Link. We're saying the same thing. Okay, I agree with you.
But I don't see where the stories of a man walking on water got something to do with people getting shot with bullets in war. I don't believe one of them. One of them I just don't believe.
Kill people either. I think it's wrong both ways.
So why do we put our hand on a Bible based on stories of shit that can't be proven?
There you go. Thank you. That is what I'm trying to bring to light.
That's what I've been saying.
There comes from the history. What now?
I've been saying this from the beginning. The Bible and all religion are based in stories that cannot be proved.
Okay, but that's not what I'm saying.
So why is politics based off of stories that can't be proved? And then they create stories that you can prove.
But yet we find out where politics lie to us every year, just like they do with religion.
Okay, I'm not saying politics lie. You're talking about people. I'm talking about historical events. The Bible and religions are based off something that happened allegedly before people, allegedly before politics. But I can't believe none of them fictional ass stories. I just don't. I don't believe no stories from the Bible the way they're told. I can believe there was war. I can believe that the Romans and the Catholics fought. I can believe that. But what they believed in, I don't know or believe in that shit.
That's all I'm saying, Dave. I'm not trying to push anything on anybody. But it's obvious this country was built with religious people with religious beliefs. And then politics came after that. I'm trying to push any beliefs on anybody. I just showed you where the left is like the people of other religions, and the right is like the Christianity trying to dominate. That's why there's so many issues that were religious issues that became political issues, like abortion and like
Okay, so why politics
we're
not
talking about it
discussing
because
Bible
they
verses?
cannot be separate. They
Okay,
literally
so
were the same issues the church had with everybody.
okay, so why don't
Witch hunts.
okay, so why don't politics
That was-
discuss Bible verses instead of policy?
I'm not quoting any Bible verses. Have you heard me quote any Bible verses?
No, you didn't hear what I said. I said, why don't politics discuss Bible verses instead of policy then?
I mean,
If they're based in religion, then they should be talking about religious beliefs instead of policy.
they did. The founders of this country were literally basically in a church making the Constitution. It's
Okay, what about the witch hunts, the Salem witch hunts?
right. That was the government, right? That was the government of America.
Okay,
that was completely 1,000% religiously motivated. That was politics and religion merging. Was it not?
for what?
I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to let people find out for their own. But I'm saying
I'm not trying to let people find out on their own. I'm trying to think for myself and say that they was hunting people and witching and hunting witches and calling them witches because they didn't align with the beliefs that they wanted them to believe.
we're saying the same thing. Link, man, how in the world can you not see we're saying the same thing?
Because I'm trying to
You
keep
just
religion.
literally said
out of
the
my-
government started a witch hunt for their religious
I'm trying to
beliefs.
keep
That's what you
religion.
just
I'm trying to
said.
keep the word. I've literally tried. I've never said the word religion so much in the past 10 years. I'm literally trying to keep that word
But
out
did
of my
you
mouth.
just say that the government started a witch hunt for their religious beliefs?
I didn't know it was the government or not. I know it was a group of people that said these group of people over here don't believe in the same stuff. Let's kill them.
Well, who was running things? It wasn't the government.
But what government policy came from hunting witches down?
Well, it happened after we discovered America. It was the government's policy to, I mean,
I just think government policy and religious stories are two different things. A man walking on water and healing the sick is
they
different.
are two different things, inspired by the same.
It's different from signing a treaty and going to war because we want to conquer some land. I just think those are two different things. I just believe that that's just two different things.
You want to take belief out of it, but you keep telling me what you believe.
No, I believe.
I love you, man.
I believe going to war and fighting a war over land is different than telling me somebody walked on water. That's two different things. It's two different types of beliefs.
Nothing about no walking on water, man.
Okay, but that's what religion would tell you. I'm just saying that's the stories of religion. The stories of religion.
You've made that abundantly clear. I've never disputed that.
I don't know. I think we just got far off the topic of talking about what's going on in politics because of religion. And religion
right, but I was just going to do a back and forth, let you tell the politics, and tell some of the history, and
I don't. Okay, but you can talk religion. I don't know how to discuss religion because I don't give
right,
it
and I don't know how to
power.
discuss politics. I thought that's what we were doing, covering both sides and letting people.
I didn't know we were talking about religion. I didn't know religion was. Okay, if we're talking about both,
we're having an open conversation. I'm not going to be edited.
I know. I get it.
That's
but if we talking
the
about
government, that's what politics do.
If we're talking about both, you saying you can't have politics without religion, right? That's what you're saying.
No, I said politics are influenced by religion. I didn't say nothing about you can't have politics without religion. I never said that.
Okay, so if politics are influenced by religion, religion is supposed to be something good for righteous people, right?
Right. That's the biggest bullshit story in history. Right.
Okay, so how do we have so many rapists and convicts in politics if they're supposed to be righteous people?
Because of what I talked about, the Vatican being exempt from anything, because that's where it was born, the male abuse.
Okay, so this is where okay, I'm trying to break it down because this is where you throw me off.
What do you mean?
What the
There's
Vatican?
more abuse cases that are unsolved from the Vatican.
Okay,
than the
but, okay,
entire
you're
world.
throwing me off. You're throwing me off. You're throwing me off. I'm trying to stay online.
I'm every time you ask me something, I'm giving you an answer.
I know, but I'm telling you where you throw me off.
You just don't like the answer.
No, because I'm talking about American politics and you get to talking about the Vatican. Are we under the Vatican?
Talking about abuse. America is not the only place in the world. You were talking about abuse.
No, I'm talking about I'm well versed. I'm talking about American politics, where you got people like Matt Gaetz, there's known rapist. You got people like Pete Hegseth, that's a known drunk. You know, you got Donald Trump, that's a convicted felon and a racist and a womanizer. What religion do they? What goodness? If religion's supposed to be something based in something righteous, how did that get into it? How did these guys end up at the top of politics and supposed to be religious? I don't get how they coincide with religious people. I was raised in Alabama in the church where people called the Holy Ghost and they scream and I don't see that type of atmosphere in politics. So I don't see how they go hand in hand. I don't see a religious element in politics. I don't see them praying every day. I don't see them getting on there talking about our country, because we are a country full of people that has different religious beliefs. So what is the religion of America if it has to be politics? America has no one religion. You can go to Saudi Arabia. You can go to all of these Middle Eastern countries, and they're all Muslim. They're just two different types.
So America don't send money. America don't send money over there for the religious wars. I'm not getting how politics got something to do with other parts. I'm asking you, the political parties, do they send money to other countries in religious wars?
What's a religious war?
Israel has always been America's little love child. Every time a religious war breaks out there, we help Israel. Why do we do that if it's not about religion?
Okay, so there's no such place as Palestine no more, because the Palestinian people were displaced out of their homes and all sent to Palestinians are all refugees now. I know Palestinians, and I know Palestinians in Syria. Their actual title is I got friends from Syria. They're not Syrian. They're called Palestinian refugees displaced in Syria, because Palestine has no country no more. The Palestinian people has had their country.
Banner. Does it have religion in it?
Huh?
The Star Spangled Banner, does it have religion in it? The national anthem, does it have religion in it?
I guess it say God or something. No, I don't. No, the Pledge of Allegiance does.
Under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, but under God doesn't say Christianity, Catholicism. Okay, so why you keep talking about the Vatican? I don't get why you keep bringing the Vatican up when I'm talking about American politics. That's where you keep throwing me off, is what I'm saying. Every time I say something about politics, you say something about the Vatican. And I'm just not getting, I can't connect that. I really cannot put a connection to Catholicism and the Vatican and Vatican City in Italy when I'm talking about American politics. I don't really get the correlation. I don't get the connection. If Christianity is supposed to be the religion of America, then what any other religion should we be talking about? If it's like you say right here, in God we trust. It doesn't say in the Vatican. It doesn't say in Muhammad. It just says God, and that can be interpreted to whatever God you want it to be, because this is America where everybody has different religions. So what religion?
The three ships that we come over here on, what were they? Christian ships?
I didn't come over here on no ship. My people.
The Nina, the Santa Maria, and the Pina. Were they Did they have religious flags on them?
From what I know, like I say, my common sense.
They did. Look it up.
Okay, so were they Christians?
They were Christian crusaders.
Okay, so now I need you to make that relate to politics.
I mean, that's who founded the country. And I've never stated a personal religion, man. You keep saying I'm
Okay,
saying
so why
Christianity because that's the one that literally tried to dominate the world, man. That's
Okay,
the
so
one
what-
that is prominently in America. That is the one. The Bible is a Christian Bible that the president swore in on. It's how can you say they're not related?
I'm not saying they're not related.
You
I'm
did.
just saying I just don't get why. Why do we do that
I
then?
don't either.
So why are we
I'm
talking
not
about
giving
that?
any answers. I don't have the answers for that.
Because to
That's
me,
why I said we were the perfect people to have a live stream because you knew the politics and I knew the religious connection.
and
Because
I don't
they're
get it.
obviously in bed together, man. There's no.
Okay, but I've never understood if they're in bed together, then why
I
don't
was
this
trying
whole
to tell
country?
you some different points to maybe think about. Same way I listened to your points.
But I
You
don't.
keep getting
I really
angry
don't
and saying you don't want to talk about it. So
no, because I don't. Because
I know
religion
you don't. That was the point of trying to talk about it.
religion has too many different denominations.
I
American
agree.
politics is just American politics.
That has different factions, man. Everybody believes differently in every state.
Okay, but everybody can believe different based on what part of history they want to look at.
Right.
In
There's no different in
factual.
church.
Okay, but
Jonah.
I'm saying I have nothing to say about religion because I don't believe none of those damn stories. I believe Vietnam happened. I don't believe none of that shit in the Bible.
All right.
That's where I don't get why it's
Another soldiers
associated.
are sitting in the wars with pocket Bibles, right?
Okay, so
Every
now
war
that brings
they're
me
at.
back to my question again. What
I'm
religion
not.
is the
I'm no
military?
violent. I mean,
Okay, no, I'm
I don't know
asking a
why this
question.
turned into a debate about it.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not
I
asking
thought it
why.
was
I'm
obvious
asking.
that they were connected. I mean,
So our American military is Christian.
man, I did not say that. Why do you keep
So
putting
what?
words in my mouth? I said, did you
Because you
know
keep
that our
talking about.
soldiers are sent to war with?
Okay, so what Bible are you talking about then? A Christian Bible, a Muslim Bible, of what Bible?
There ain't no Muslim Bible. That's
Okay, so what
that's
Bible
the
is
Quran,
it?
which actually is the same story.
Okay,
The
so you
Quran
say
has Jesus in it, and the Bible has Allah in it.
okay when you say
That's why
Bible,
it's like-
what Bible are you talking about? Because when I hear the word Bible, I think of the
I don't
Christian
know.
Bible.
I'm just telling you, soldiers are sent to war with a pocket Bible.
Which one? Because if I join the military and I'm Buddhist, don't put no Christian Bible in my pocket. Which Bible are you talking about? Is what I'm saying. Is it a Christianity Bible? Which is what Bible? I don't
If
get
we're talking about religion has influence on why are you trying to specifically figure out what Bible?
because the
Instead
Bible.
instead of just saying, "Hey, damn, it does look like to me
Because
religion
I'm
has
not.
a big part
Because
in war."
okay, this is reason why I say. This is why I say Christian. This is why I say religion has questions that they can't answer for me. Which
So does
Bible?
politics.
Which Bible? I can answer questions about politics, but if I say which Bible is all I'm asking. Which Bible do they have? Is it a standard definite? Is what standard Bible? The King James Version. Okay, so people go to war with the King James Version of the Bible. What if I don't? What if I go people in it? That's basically saying okay.
Point. We shouldn't be sending our soldiers. Period. We damn sure shouldn't send them with a Bible in their hand. We're saying the same thing, Link. You're just not acknowledging that it's there.
I just don't.
That's the only debate we're having.
I don't get how you try.
Several of your comments have mirrored mine.
I'm just trying to make the connection to which religion.
I'm connected in a million different ways, man.
Because I keep asking which religion. Which religion are what is the American religion?
Religion and politics are in bed together. Why are you separating the religions?
Because I'm trying to understand what religion is politics under. What are you saying? What religion?
First, you have to acknowledge that politics are influenced by religion, or we can't even have that conversation.
Okay, yeah, okay, fine. I'm just for the sake of it, but I don't get why I'm saying that. But yeah, just so you can answer my question, which religion?
Well, then I'm not going to discuss something somebody just says because they won't.
Because I'm telling you from the jump, I don't acknowledge religion. But you
Okay, and
want
I've
me to
never acknowledged
acknowledge,
politics, but we were trying to come together here and understand that.
I
But
get
we
that,
can't
but
just
I
talk
have
about
more.
one without the other.
Okay, so you enlighten me on this religious stuff because I
I've
can
been
enlighten you
talking
on
about it, man. How it went from Christians to pagans to Christians and Indians
I
to
hate talking about
cowboys and
religion.
Indians
I
to
really hate
North and
talking about
South to
religion.
Republican and Democrat.
If anything on this earth I hate is talking about religion because it can go on forever.
I
It
agree,
can just
man.
go on forever. I just hate it. I really hate everything about it. I hate everybody that even brings it. I do not do it. I do not discuss religion. I hate everything about religion and people's faith because I don't want to change nobody's faiths and no religions. And I don't have the power to fucking discuss religion. I'm not God or a rabbi, a reverend, a sheik, or none of that. I know politics. And I can tell you a lot about politics and world history, world government, world economics, the global economy, the global politics, world wars. I can tell you a lot about that, but I can't tell you nothing about religion because those stories I don't believe in. I can say, yeah, religion is grounds for war, and countries and governments have been started based on religions. But which one is America's? Who is our religion? What is our religion? What is the government's
I
religion?
don't have a religion.
No, I'm not talking about you. You saying you keep saying that the politics can't be discussed without
It was
religion. Which
Christian people who
religion?
founded the
Which
country. I don't know
religion?
now. I mean, I'm not saying.
Just tell me what religion you is. It Christianity? Is it Catholicism? Is it which
They
religion?
don't know either. There's 300,000 denominations of Christianity, so they don't know either. That's
Okay,
kind of
so
my point, man.
yeah, that's why I don't really like getting into religion because
I
there's so
don't
many
either. Link everything I've ever done, man. I've done this conversation because you wanted to have a conversation to enlighten people.
about politics. I was
And I
going
want
to
to
tell you,
enlighten them about how politics relate to religion.
and I don't. That's where you lost me at because I
Okay,
don't
well, you lose
discuss
me on
religion.
politics, but I'm open to listening.
I don't. I have. What do look when it comes to religion? There's a bunch of
Our
shit in religion.
conversation proved that's what starts wars. Because we are
Exactly.
like-minded
Talking
as
about religion.
we're saying the
Talking,
same thing.
I don't believe in none of the shit anybody's Bible says
Okay, I didn't
from any
ask you to.
country, from every country, from every walk of life. I personally, I don't believe in none of that shit. None of them. Because they're all made up stories from the stars that
I don't believe in
individuals believe
politicians.
in. I can believe in politicians because they right here in my face.
That have been proved wrong many times, that were lying right under our face. Shadow government, shadow organizations. There's so many parts politicians that we're not told.
I know,
Literally.
but I can prove that shit exists. We can agree that there's so many different types of politics and so many different types of governments. It's all documented of what these governments do. But I don't believe in none of these fictional stories of people walking on water and healing the sick and somebody coming down from the stars and I don't. Why did World War I start?
Well, everything I know is that the American government went to what was then the United Nations, and with money borrowed from the Queen, went over there and told them that we're going to run shit, and y'all are going to listen to us. And they said, no, buddy, that ain't going to happen. They said, well, we're not asking you, we're telling you. And that's why America has been the dominant country since then. It was all from World War I. And that's why the birth certificate thing you're talking about, the currency and why preferred stock and all that, our birth certificate is a bill of sale as owed to the Queen of England from money borrowed in World War I. That's the best I can research why it started.
Okay, now just spitballing in here, the Germans was trying to conquer Europe.
Yeah.
And the French and the British were involved in that war, and Americans were sent in as allies to open up fronts to keep the German front from advancing over into Europe. And that's how we got into that
I've always
war.
said World War. I never understood the reason in all the wars, but World War II is pretty cut and dry. It was obvious that needed to happen.
Yeah, that's why I say I can talk about all of that because it's history to that. I can tell you more about this shit than I can tell you about something from the stars and something that somebody believed in. And I don't know about religion like that. I don't know. This stuff, King George in World War I, yeah. England had, yes, I can, that is something that can be proved other than religious stuff.
Thank God.
After the assassination of Archduke. Yeah, see how these facts, see, this is stuff that I can say, yeah, okay.
I love history.
This history is making sense.
Yeah.
But religion don't make sense to me because it's based in stuff.
Okay. You can't talk about fucking history without talking about religion, though, man. I'm sorry. Every damn country in the world's influenced by it. Damn, man, I'm tired of arguing about it. Damn, I never have not tried to push nothing on you. I'm not trying to make you talk about something you don't want to talk about. I could have talked about it. We could have took turns. Man, God, man.
I just don't believe in religion. I don't know. Religion just can't be proved to me.
I understand that, but the world damn believes in it, man. It's influenced all of our elections and everything. So
okay, so now I'm asking you. That's where I'm asking you to make it make sense to me.
I can't make anything make sense. That's what this was about, to try to just shed different aspects of how politics, religion has shaped the fucking world and let people come to their own conclusions. I've never offered any answers or any personal biases. I just literally going on things I've found out, and I love history, man. Always have.
I love history, but I love history. I love world history. You know, like right here, you know, on the TV right now, it's talking about Auschwitz survivors, you know, and showing black and white pictures from the Holocaust. I can see this stuff. I can't see a goddamn thing that came out of a Bible. I can't believe it. First of all, it don't make common sense to me for me to believe it. But I can say, yes, those beliefs have started governments and started wars. That's what I'm agreeing with you on. I just don't get what's America's religion in. It's a melting pot.
For an hour length we talked and you didn't acknowledge that.
Huh?
It's right here. For an hour you didn't acknowledge that religion had anything to do with politics. That's where religion come from. No, Link,
religion is grounds for war. Religion is grounds for war because we can go back and forth on what you believe from your heart. I said, but religion are people's personal core values and beliefs, not the country's beliefs. So I don't see how everybody's individual core values got something to do with what's etched in stone as the country's values. I get that America
does about their beliefs and values. I mean,
but not religious values.
Link. Okay, man.
You have a lot of people from this country.
Man. Right. I give
a lot of people in this country from different walks of life that love America, but they have different religious beliefs.
Okay, man. Never said they didn't.
All I'm asking is, which religion are we supposed to be?
I don't know, man. Just know there's a church on every corner like Dollar Generals all throughout all of America. And to deny that, it's just...
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. Like, I just don't understand where every church on the corner has to do with our political institution.
Okay. Then I'll drop it.
That's just where I'm lost. I ain't trying to be mean and nothing. I just don't get. I'm
not either. But just like Dave said here, the fucking Constitution is based on religious fucking values, man. I just don't know how you can separate it. I'm sorry. I get that you don't like talking about it. I don't either. If I could tell you how bad I've never talked about it. This is also the most I've ever talked about religion or politics. Link on my channel, period. The first 15 minutes was. I did it because I thought it was important because your conversation yesterday helped me see a lot of things about politics I didn't know.
But I don't have no
minded about the religion part of it. It's just kind of not the same thing as me trying to understand politics.
Like I said, I enlightened you on stuff yesterday because I know about politics.
I don't appreciate you telling me how I believe, and you telling me that you don't want to talk about anything that I got to say.
No, I'm trying to listen to what you got to say, but I'm trying to get how. Look, I'm trying to get. You keep saying, what religion are we talking about? That's what I keep asking. What religion are we talking about? When I mention American politics, you say the Vatican. I'm trying to ask how the Vatican has got something to do with American politics. And then
all the things you're talking about brought up is because you kept denying that politics had anything to do with it. So I just said that all presidents go see the Vatican. That's
right, because the
why
Vatican
I brought that up, and that.
Because the Vatican is like the capital of religion worldwide, and it's its own country.
No, you're wrong. All those other religions don't believe in the Vatican.
Well, the Vatican,
Hindu, Judaism, none of them.
Okay, so then I can say in history that I know Mussolini had separated a section in the middle of Italy and made it its own country inside of Italy and called it Vatican City. So Vatican City and the Holy See, which is the actual chair that the Pope sits in, is the one that's in charge. The Pope itself is not in charge. The chair that he sits in is it's called the Holy See. That's what's actually in charge. What only gives the Pope power is the person in charge of sitting in the chair. Why
do our presidents have to go to that chair? That's why I don't agree with it, man. But
I don't. Okay, so I don't. Okay, so this is what I'm asking you. What is the correlation of why our presidents? What that got to do with American politics? That's just okay. So what I'm saying is that's just a practice of government. That's a practice of our government of acknowledging the chair. That's just like. We acknowledge that we have allies. That's the only reason that I can say why we do that. Other than that, I don't know nothing about the history of those religions, of those stories that I don't believe in.
Either. I was just pointing out the correlation and the similarities and the way.
We go see the Queen, or what did, I guess, the King now, but that's just part of the policy, part of the procedure. Right. Go shake hands with the people that we are allies with to show reverence to these institutions. That's the only reason why I can say American presidents do that. But I don't know about those religions at all.
Well, then that's the part of politics you're not versed on, bud.
Because they don't talk about the Pope.
Man. Every president, Ronald Reagan preached about that
in American history. Okay, so why we don't know it? Why we ain't taught this in school if they do talk about it? Because I know everything about
in school. That's why it needs to be redone completely.
Okay, so I know more about politics, and I've learned more about politics in school than religion. I had to go to church on Sundays to learn about religion, something separate from school. And in church never brought up politics. I've never been in church and they said anything about the president or anything about politicians. I've never seen that in church.
I am. In fact, I've never heard nobody in the barbershops anywhere that bitching to each other about the left and the right that don't mention religion. I've never, ever heard a conversation with together. But maybe we live in a different world, man. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to say that.
I was born in the Black South, and then I was raised in the ghetto.
I was being sarcastic. We're not in a different world, man. We live in the same world. There's black people in these barbershops too.
I get that, but maybe the crowds we around have different beliefs in that.
I didn't say they didn't.
Because the crowd that I've been around most of my life have grown, like I said from the beginning, we have grown to learn that we didn't come and we not born in the image of what That Bible says. And in Revelation, when it talks of God having wool hair and bronze feet, we associate that as being black. So it's too conflicted. Religion got too many questions that they can't answer for me. Like I said, what's the end of the world? Some people say, oh, that's the end of, God gonna rapture his people, and then he gonna come back and in the end. And I'm like, okay, so if he gonna take his people and leave people behind,
I
that's
don't
not
put
the
any
end of
weight
the world.
in those stories, Link. I never have. Only why everyone is brainwashed by it, the same way the government. You're totally misconstruing what I'm saying, man. I ain't saying nothing about what the fuck the Bible verses say or who the fuck they believe in. Or I don't give a fuck. All I see is that the
Okay.
fucking religion has dominated the world, man. And that's not. You cannot
Okay,
be
so
awake and not see that. You can't.
all right, so here's my
If woke
question now.
don't believe in that, then they're full of fucking shit. Because there's no
Okay,
way.
so here's my question. Here's my question then. What religion do we supposed to be
Oh
going
my
under
fucking
in
God. I
America?
don't fucking care, man. I don't care. I do not care. I only
Okay, so
care
this
if the
is,
people care. And I want to
but
know
you
why they
say
care so much.
if religion is influencing our politics, what religion is all I want to know? Which one? It's so many.
I don't know. I
There's
mean,
only
they
one.
put their hand on the Bible, so you tell me.
So that's Christianity. So Christianity.
I guess. I mean, that's what the ships were that people come over on were the Christian crusaders. Yes, I mean,
That's what I'm trying to get to. What religion are
the
we
big
talking about?
LGBT, the lady that just told Trump about the show the immigrants and all this, she was a Christian preacher, Link.
Okay, so that goes against what I was raised as in Christian preachers. She looked
It
like
does, right? I mean, but
he
I'm
looked
not
like a
judging it.
Catholic. He
I'm
looked
just
like a
pointing
Catholic
out.
preacher to me.
I'm just
I mean, that
pointing out
looked
that
like a
it's there,
Catholic
man.
church.
Okay, well, that is Christian. There was no such thing as any other denomination of Christianity until the 1500s. It was Catholic.
So
The Bible was
Methodist,
canonized. That's Catholic.
okay, so Methodist and Baptist is
They're not
Christian.
different religions. No, they're all Christianity. There's 360. Hold on, let's see. There's anybody get out your phone, ask them how many denominations of Christianity there are. You get out your phone and ask it.
Let me see.
Ask
Yeah,
any
'cause
AI you want, whatever. I can't. It's my webcam.
I know this is where I get confused because there's so many.
It confuses me too, my friend. Trust me, it does.
That's why I don't really like discussing religion because
I don't
can go
either.
on forever.
How many denominations of Christianity are there? More than 45,000.
It says Christianity can be divided into many denominations, three main branches: Roman Catholic, Protestant, and Eastern Orthodox.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll ask
see,
how many denominations of Christianity are there?
It said many. Many, it can be divided into many
45,000.
denominations. This one here say, what are the 12 types of Christianity?
That's what I'm trying to get at, man. You can't. That's why they don't even know what they're worshiping.
Yeah, that's why I do not discuss religion because it has no definite.
But you see that's important to point out. Most people don't know that. They think like you just said. You wasn't even sure that method.
Because I don't do religion. I know politics because it's right there in my face. I can tell you there's Democrats and Republicans in American politics, and there's third parties. There's independents, but we still live under one flag, one country, one president. Which religion is
50 flags?
But which religion?
And then an American flag.
So why can't we have a Muslim president?
Man, what does that got to do with the flags? You said we live under one flag. I said, no, we don't. We live under 50.
Okay. Yeah.
What does that got to do? Do we not?
50 states?
How many flags fly above America, man?
I only know of one American flag.
Okay. Does every state have a flag?
Yeah.
Is that a part of America?
Right, but we don't fly under the Alabama flag or the Missouri flag.
We fly every flag. Every state.
In
and
each
the
state.
UN has them all. So does the Congress. A state,
Okay,
every
so
senator,
okay,
every
so
flag.
okay, so tell me this, because I was talking legalese. Where in the hell is African America?
I
And
don't
why
know.
don't they have a
You asked me
flag?
about flags, man. I'm telling you about flags.
Okay, so
Where
this
is
is
white
what I'm
America?
saying.
Where is all Americans? I don't know. I mean, that's not
That's what
flag.
I'm saying. I don't claim to be African American or black either, because
I
African
didn't say you
America
should.
and because African America don't exist. There's no flag for it. There's no country for it, and there's nobody at the UN representing it. There's not a place. It's legalese.
I meant the Senate, and I meant the Congress. There's a senator for every state with their flag right there with them. I didn't mean the UN.
However, they have a base belief. Okay,
Yep, that is true.
if we have a Muslim president now, if we have a openly Muslim president in a country that's supposed to be under Christian or Catholic beliefs, who's going to vote for him?
We did. Wasn't Barack Obama Muslim?
No. People just called him Muslim because his middle name was Hussein. That was just a
I don't
slur.
know.
People just
I don't know. I mean,
I know, but
I'm
I'm
not
trying
sure.
to tell you that that's just like, you know, everybody was just saying that, oh, he's a Muslim.
Well, there you
Oh,
go. There's politics that are being
no, that wasn't politics. That was ignorant
non-transparent.
people. That was ignorant people just making silly comments trying to say he's a Muslim because his middle name
I
is.
can only go on what people says.
Okay, well, look, I know a bunch of Americans here that call themselves Muhammad or Bilal. You know,
Thank you,
they
Dave.
go by Muslim names. So
I totally agree, man.
So Barack Hussein Obama is a Muslim name that was given to him,
Like you said, Mike,
but he was a Christian man.
if
As
someone is
far as I
born
know,
here, legal or
I
not,
never
they're Americans. So why do you insist on calling yourself African American? I don't never do that to people.
I don't even check that on boxes when I put
Well,
other
you just
on
asked me
applications.
where's the African American flag.
There's no such thing.
But you asked me that, man.
I know,
I mean,
and
I didn't bring that up. That's what Dave's saying. Are you not just an American?
yeah, I'm just an American.
I mean,
But when there's no questionnaire, it's asking me for my race. Black is a color. That's not an ethnicity. That's not a race. White is not a color. White is a color. That's not an ethnicity or a race. But it will ask on there Caucasian. The only options I get is black or African American. Two shits that don't exist as a people. There is no such place as African America. If it asks on there for Asian, it asks on there for Hispanic, it asks for Hispanic or Latino. It don't ask for me for nothing that I can identify with.
From what I understand, the civil rights movement demanded that black people have a title. I may be wrong, but I think that's where African American come from. Was
no African American.
I may be wrong.
Okay, so let me correct you. The 22nd Amendment said that.
I didn't say it was. I don't know.
Okay, but I'm telling you stuff that's in stone that I can prove. I can't prove stuff from the Bible, but I can tell you in the 22nd Amendment, and it says that the Africans were free to America, and in legalese, that means that they are free to be America's Africans, thus African Americans. But we were still never given a flag or nobody represented at the UN, and there's no president of African America. It's not a place. It's a legalese fictional term.
I don't use it.
So African American don't describe an ethnicity or group of people. It describes a government section of legal fictions. And I don't identify as something that ain't a people.
African Native American ain't really a thing either. A Mexican American ain't really a thing either. They don't have flags.
Well, Native Americans are people that were natively born in the country called America.
But I'm just telling you this.
So if anything, I should be called a Native American instead of African American. I've never been to Africa, and like I say, I know my history of my family tree. Like I told you yesterday,
you do agree that Mexican American and Native American aren't ethnicities either.
Mexican Americans, Chinese Americans, Asian Americans, that's hyphenated because they have a country and a flag. If you come from Mexico and you have Mexican, Hispanic,
Africa has a
Latino
flag?
heritage, you're called Mexican American because you have a country called Mexico and a Mexican flag and a Mexican people.
Are you saying there's not a country called Africa?
That I didn't come from,
A Mexican born here didn't either.
but they come from a place with a flag to be a hyphenated. If I came here from Africa right now, I would be an African American if I got my papers to say I'm African American, but I didn't come from
I
Africa.
concede with you that if religion makes no sense to you, that don't make no fucking sense to me. And so I don't know. I don't know where I am. I don't know what I am. I've asked, I don't tell many times, what the hell are white people? I don't know. I have no idea where I come from.
White people are called Caucasian because that is the
I
actual
understand
name
what
of
I'm
the race.
saying, what is our heritage? Everybody gets a heritage but us. I don't know what the hell my heritage is. Where the fuck did I originate?
Exactly. So America
That
is
hurts,
not.
man. That hurts me personally. It's not anybody's fault, but it hurts.
No,
it hurts because I
it
don't have
should.
a heritage.
It should because white people claim that this is their land, and nobody and everybody from here, everybody in this country came from other countries.
Yeah.
You don't know you don't know if you might be Irish by blood. You don't know if you may be German.
That we're all Africans,
be...
actually. If history's true, we're all Africans because that's where humankind started, was the African continent.
And then there were the ones that this history has said that went to the Caucasus Mountains in Europe and lost pigmentation of their skin and basically was away from the sun and got lighter skin color and came out whiter and whiter. But at the same time, black people can have white babies. They're both Aramaic religions.
Sorry. My phone is
Now, like I say, my last name is Johnson. Johnson, Jackson, Wilson, all of those names are derived from slave plantations, mean the son of John, the son of Jack, the son of Will. You know, those names were given to us. So that gives me no heritage. That gives me no ethnicity here. Those are labels. Black and Negro is just the Spanish word for black. That's not an ethnicity. That's not a blood. That's not a bloodline. So I consciously don't identify with neither one of them because that don't identify with no blood that I carry. I don't carry black as a ethnicity. That's a legalese fictional term. African American only applies to the Africans that you see that own the stores and the boutiques and stuff, that still wear the hats and they still got their accent. Those are African Americans.
Right.
Me, I'm a Native American, but it's not going to tell me that because they gave Native American to the actual people that we call Indians. And Indians are people from India. So all the terms are mixed up. They don't have a term for black, brown colored people in America. There's actually an ethnicity with a flag and a country and representation at the UN. So
well,
yeah,
I don't think black people have one either, do they? I don't think white people do. I didn't make them name Caucasian.
I mean, but your roots can probably be traced. Your roots can probably be traced more than mine can, because no black person.
I told you that my grandpa I was an affair baby. I'm not really a Logan. Yeah. I have no idea where mine is.
And see, my heritage comes from what I know is my great grandmother was Cherokee Indian and white, and is listed on, and she was listed on the Alabama census from 1800s that I have copies of as mulatto.
That's beautiful, because most Cherokee is here in North Carolina. It's more than North Carolina.
No, Alabama. It was all over the South.
I know. There's a lot of Cherokee reservations. There's more Cherokee in North Carolina than any other tribe.
And my great grandmother name was Mosella Whitson. Her mother, I don't know my great grandmother's name, but her mother was the Indian that was raped by the white family called Clear, Cleere. You can look up in history and see the Clear plantation from one section of Alabama. So as far as I'm concerned, my history did start in America. My bloodline started in America because my great grandmother married a black man named Sam Whitson. And that's how my grandmother became a Whitson. And she married a mixed man named David Johnson.
Yeah, I've always hated that term.
So I don't know my granddaddy's history, but I know that there's white people in his history that got him to be a mixed man. So I can't see black people in America, we can't trace our roots back no further than any plantation here in America. So where did African America come from? That's something that I identify with. I've always been American.
Too, like, white people could be anything from
Jamaican, from the West Indies, from the Caribbean, the Middle East. We could. There's plenty of people where people of color come from. So why do I have to say that I'm African American when I don't know that for sure, and I know legally that that's not a place? That's basically saying I'm America's African.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you don't have to. I mean, you just said a while ago how we were given names by the government, but that's not really us. I agree with that.
But see, legally, when I was talking about legalese, this is why a lot of black people lost court cases. Like when somebody black get killed by the police or something wrong, injustice, and they go to court, and like we both know the legalese and the legalese game of how it's played in court. When a person of color goes to court and say, "Oh, this Black Lives Matter," or this African American, they still giving themselves over to under the system of America. There was legally what they call a nigger hunting license in America, meaning that they can shoot and kill black people. So when you go to court, if I go to court and say
used to legally shoot anybody in the Wild West,
right? But there was a legal. But there was a legal doctrine saying that you can shoot these people legally.
Yeah, that was illegal. If it was fair fight, you can shoot anybody you want as long as they had a gun.
Right. But if I go to court and say, "Oh, I'm protecting and standing up for the rights of an African American," the court legally is looking at that as, "Oh, well, you trying to stand up for some of my property. I can do with what I want, so you lose this case because you're not legalizing it and putting it in the right legal terminology to say that you're fighting for a human ethnicity."
Yeah, yeah. I think everything about the judicial system is wrong. Most of it.
Right. Yeah, they fucked it over for a lot of people. But see, if you go to court and say, "I'm Caucasian," then you have a race and an ethnicity that you stand by. If I say I'm black, that's taking away me having that. If I say I'm black and I'm Black Lives Matter, then I'm just based. That's why the Black Lives Matter wasn't taken seriously by a lot of black people for real. Because that's basically us educated black people saying, "Hey, look, you basically still saying that you're not a person, you're still just a color." They still got the right to kill you, and that's why they still was. Because you're not standing up for a people, you're standing up for a color. And if you claim yourself to be African American, then you basically saying, "Yeah, I belong to you. Do whatever you want. I'm your African. I'm your American. I'm your African American."
When you state your name to the law, you belong to them. So,
right. It's all fucked up.
I think laws and morals are completely separate. I didn't know you didn't know all these things about me, man. I can pull up video after video where I'm talking about the same shit. It's all equality, all this inequality or whatever, or
No, I know
It's
these
fucking
things about you.
terrible things done in the name of good. I mean, it's not just religion, bro. I hate institutions. I can't
Yeah,
stand an institution that tells you what to do and how to think and how to feel and how to dress and how to do and locks you up and kills you if they don't do what their belief is.
and
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 unfortunately, the two biggest ones are the ones we know about. That's why I think it's important.
that's why I say you got too good of a heart, because like I feel the same way. Like we got the same type of feeling toward that, but I have to acknowledge the fact that
But there ain't more
I
people
can't.
with a heart like mine than they won't demonize people like you. So I do have a too big a heart. You're right. I was told in
Yeah,
jail
you got
it's too
too.
nice.
Yeah, I keep telling you, you got too good of a heart because you refuse to see that there are color lines.
No, I
You
refuse
know,
to see it. I just refuse to buy into it.
right? And I
And
got
I
the
think
same.
that's the only way it'll end. How
But
could it
see,
ever end if there's not people who's not buying into it?
I can't afford to not buy into it because there's other people that's still gonna damn me whether what I believe or not.
They're gonna down you no matter what. I've found that people will demonize you no matter what you say, man. I don't care what color you
Yeah.
are or whatever. You can't please everybody.
And we'll still fall under the same boat of DEI because you got disabilities and I'm brown.
Yeah. I was going to mention that it didn't really help me none either, but I try
No,
not
so
to compare my situation to other people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's everybody's unique. The same thing can
yeah,
happen to two different people that are exactly the same, but they feel differently about it. One person can be called fat and they go home and laugh about it. Another person go home and end their life. So
yeah, it can be that way. Like when I was in California, I'm definitely deep into the tool community and the rock world nationwide. I'm known in all the rock communities, you know what I'm saying? But when I go to California and I'm around rich people that's used to looking at black homeless people, I'm just another broke nigga to them. They don't know me and they don't treat me like you do. They don't talk to me the same way my tool friends do. They talk to me the way they talk to black people.
yeah. Yeah, I told you I've experienced that to a small degree. I used to go to all the game rooms, the fish tables. Most people probably don't know what that is, but my mouth's really dry. It's just a game that was invented in Chuck E. Cheese's where you hit a button and fish pop. And they turn into gambling games. And like mostly, the brothers is where they hung out. So, and I'm in good with lots of up there. But when I would go into a game room and nobody knew was in there, it felt different. It's like a bad vibe. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? But as soon as somebody come in, I knew the whole vibe changed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's nothing like what you experienced, but it's
Yeah,
racially
right.
profiling to a certain extent. And then it just goes away when I find out that I'm cool with black people, you know what I'm saying? But most of the time it don't happen. Just there's been a few times that I felt that way. It was weird and it just stopped once one of my buddies come in, like
Right. I know
maybe just
exactly what you're
paranoid, I
saying.
don't know. But
I know exactly what you're saying because I've been in crowds where one white guy show up and we be like, who the fuck is this? And then we see somebody go slap fire with and be like, oh, I guess he cool. And then it's back to normal. But I've been at a Metallica concert standing in line at the bathroom and some big redneck walk by there, and then looks up like, ah, you like Metallica?
the microculture and stuff, I got along with them people, man.
He couldn't help
country boy,
himself.
but rednecks, no, man. I did not get along with rednecks. Never did.
But see, at the tool in the tool crowd, here's the difference. Reason why I do love the tool crowd because I've been treated just like how you treat me. Like
It's
I've
truly diversity and unity.
Yeah, once I showed up to the first Tool concert, nobody looked at me weird. They looked at me like, well, we expect you to be here. Like this is some cool shit, and you obviously you know what you're doing, but to be here. But when I was at Metallica concert, they was like, what the fuck is he doing up here in here? It's different. It's a different crowd, But
even as far as like mosh pit and stuff, too, here people are kind, hold the door for you.
yeah,
They say yes, ma'am, and somebody's like, it's unlike any metal show I've ever been to.
It's not like any other crowd. That's why I say with the Tool family, I found my tribe. You know what I'm saying? Because we all believe in the same stuff. We didn't grow up together, but as soon as we met, we was already in sync because we believe the same stuff.
Yeah. And it comes from the lack of non-belief. And the two things Maynard points out all the time is religion and politics. And because I think they're both evil. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think the people are evil that are in the country or in the church. I think the institutions that created them are.
And I'm believing now what I'm seeing. Like I bring up Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth and all of these people. Christianity's giving them a pass with doing stuff that 20 years ago Christianity would have damned. Ronald Reagan couldn't have got away with fucking porn stars.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan's one. I firmly
You know,
believe that
Bush couldn't have pushed. Nobody wouldn't have gave Bush a pass with fucking a porn star. Look at how they treated Clinton for getting some head. If we was based on Christianity, you know, what happened now? Now all of that stuff is just swept under the rug. Oh, well, he's just misunderstood, and you're just a witch hunt, and you're just after him.
You have heard the Evil Empire speech, right? That was completely 100%.
Huh?
It was in front of the Christian embassy. Ronald Reagan gave the Evil Empire speech. That's what Rage Against the Machine's album's about. That was purely a Christian speech about how Christians' values need to be brought back into America. But you never heard of the Evil Empire speech? That's his most popular speech, or infamous speech.
But then, you know, you can still look at the Ronald Reagan era with him and the Iran-Contra scandal, with him and Oliver North and Barry.
No, I think say that was a point to bring in the
dope.
The dope. Yeah, exactly. And
the flood
of what we learned in MK Ultra,
and they flooded it in Oakland and Harlem to bring down the black community.
Yeah,
and then while Nancy
same
Reagan
way they brought down the hippies with the LSD and
made
it bad. They're too fucking happy.
While Nancy Reagan sat there hollering, "Just say no. Well, tell your husband to stop bringing the shit here."
And I think it's funny how everybody, but I guess it's news and the government points out America's first school shooting was Columbine. No, it was Ohio, Kent State, when the military opened fire on unarmed students.
Mm-hmm.
The military.
I know about that.
Or dead in Ohio. Neil Young sings about it.
I know about that, but they sweep that under the rug.
Protests in the Vietnam War. And the things they protested to come out later to be completely factual was 100% about bringing heroin in the caskets of the soldiers. That's what Denzel's movie is about. What the hell is it called? True Gangster or something? Oh, hell, what the fuck is it? Where he's, oh, man. Shit. Somebody tell me. What's it? American Gangster. That's what it is.
Yeah.
American Gangster. That's what it's completely about, the whole thing. It's about See, that's how he goes to Vietnam and he cuts out the middleman.
And here's the irony about that. When I was in college, we were given case studies in one of my writing classes, and we didn't get to pick them. The professor called us up to the desk and he gave us a piece of paper and said, "Here's your subject." So my case study, he wrote down these names, and he told me to make a case study out of it. He wrote down Oliver North. He wrote down Oliver North, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, and Barry Seals. That's all he gave me to work with. He said, make a case study out of this. He said, find out how they relate and bring it back. And with that, just that information, just using 4 names. And with just using those 4 names, Barry Seals, George Bush, Oliver North, and Ronald Reagan, I was able to unravel the whole Contra scandal, the Iran-Contra scandal.
Yes.
And I was able to learn about how Barry Seal was the one that was used bringing the dope into here. I learned about how Oliver North was basically the scapegoat, and when he got on the stand, all he did was say, "I do not recall," and then he still went down as a hero and a journalist. Ronald Reagan went on to become president with George Bush as his vice president, and George Bush became president. And all of them people created all of that bullshit to bring dope into America and give guns to the Contras back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I learned all of that just by giving a piece of paper with 4 names on it.
It's funny how you can start a rabbit hole by just one thing.
Right. That's why I say I can dig up politics because it's in black and white. you know, and there's actual documented history on this, so I can say, look, yeah, I can. Okay, well, I can believe that it happened. There's, you know, there's pictures, there's video, there's history.
I don't agree with all of it, but I agree it's there, and it was written by the winners. I do agree with that.
Yeah, but
there cases of it being proven to have been a lie over every single administration on both sides for me to believe every word of it. But you are right; it's there pretty much.
It's there. It's there for me to see. It's there for me to determine if I believe it or not. But you know, I don't have to believe in it to believe it actually happened.
Well, that's what I was saying about you don't have to believe in religion to see the churches on every corner. Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I don't have to believe it. Yeah, that's a fact. Churches on every corner. But what they teach, I don't believe in because I can't prove. You give me names like Jesus and you know and Joseph and I can't prove that happened.
You give me names like Trump and Bush stuff. I know that there were people over them. I know that there's organizations that's been around a lot longer that they might even know about. I'm pretty sure that the president probably has about 30% of the power.
Right, you can look up somebody like Reagan and go
4 years is about enough time just for somebody to get comfortable. And then they put another one in there.
Right,
really weird.
Like if I wanted to research Reagan, yeah, I do believe he was in movies because I can prove that he was.
Yeah,
I can believe he was an actor. I can prove that. I can show you the movie.
I think they're all pretty good actors. Yeah, right. He was an actor for sure.
I actually when we for Sasanta in Hollywood. At the Hollywood Bowl, me and Vegas Fuentes, Tony, and Misha George, and a lot of other Tube fans, we actually stayed in the mansion that that Ronald Reagan stayed in Hollywood. I got pictures. We actually stayed, so I can prove stuff that I can prove. I can't believe stuff I can't prove.
But sometimes the proof that you look up isn't necessarily so, because I'll give you a good example. Like right now, anybody gets your phone out, it won't me because I ask where was the first gold rush? They're going to tell you California. It's not true. It's North Carolina. Reed Gold Mine, the very first gold ever discovered in America, period, was Conrad Reed, right down the road, Reed's Gold Mine. They mined gold here for 5 years before anybody ever went west.
But see, that can be.
It won't show you that specifically. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's not there. Like, I'm just saying that sometimes.
No. I'm saying that can be researched just like you know it. I can believe that. I can believe what you're saying.
Was actually now it's been lost and they can't actually prove it, but it's on record that really the first Constitution was signed in North Carolina. Predates the first Constitution. Let me look that up and see exactly how it went, but it's not lost or somebody like whatever. It's not.
And you can actually look up and see that
Constitution in North Carolina.
You can actually look up and see that John Henson was the actual first president of the United States.
So the North Carolina Constitution is the state's highest legal document, establishing the structure and function of its government. It also defines the state's relationship with the United States federal government. History, 1976. The first Constitution was created after an American Declaration of Independence. 1868. Constitution was recognized after the Civil War to readmit North Carolina to the Union. It abolished slavery and established universal male suffrage. 1971. So the first one was basically, 1868, the Constitution resulted from federal mandate requiring North Carolina to abolish slavery. But then it went on to the Declaration of Independence. I'm sorry. Not the Constitution. The Declaration. Yeah, the Declaration of Independence. No, the Constitution. Wait a minute. No, I won't put up false information. Let me show you what I'm looking at.
And you can look up and look at in history and see about John Hanson.
See, this is why I can't ignore the thing. We the people of the state of North Carolina are grateful to the Almighty God, sovereign ruler of the nations. See, man, I didn't pull that up on purpose. That's why it's hard for me to ignore him. Anyway, for the preservation of American Union and the existence of our whole political and religious liberty, man. You see why I don't like it, Link? It's
Yeah.
embedded in our damn government. Ever you can't look without seeing it. I don't know how the hell you read all the papers without seeing it.
No, I see it, but it don't say which
don't agree with it, man.
religion. It don't
You
say
think
which
religious
Bible.
liberties, man. What do you think that says?
Religious liberties, meaning all kinds of liberties, all
Man,
sorts of religions.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry I brought it up. It was just there in the words. I mean, I never said.
I'm not saying that it ain't. I just don't
I
see.
don't know why I can mention it. You don't jump on me pretty much, man, for saying I'm not. I didn't say it wasn't religion, man. I only said religion was politics.
I know what you're saying,
Yeah, anyway,
but I'm talking about
got
the
lost
modern,
somewhere.
our modern era. Our modern era. How can these people say God? How can they fix their mouth to say God with the acts that they do? I can't believe that religion has anything to do with it anymore. You sat here and watch all of these court cases, and all these people came out, and all these people testified and say, yeah, Matt Gaetz drugged me, and Pete Hegseth jumped on the stage at a club and was drinking and grabbed a dancer. He did this on a plane. He did this on a business trip. And then these people want to sit here and say that God Almighty. That's where I'm not finna stick that. Don't put that shit on what I call a God. Yeah, freedom. See, there it says servitude, slavery, and servitude.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself for that. We were the first one to have a university
involuntary
for African Americans and or whatever labels. Yeah, North Carolina was the deciding vote. North Carolina was one of the only southern states to join the petition that helped the civil rights movement. Well, in Georgia, the rest of them didn't, and Georgia was kind of had to be forced. But yeah, I love history, man. I've found there's a lot of history here in my state.
And they wiped away from history about John Hanson, the black man that was considered the first president of the United States.
Well, that's kind of what I mean by. I mean, we can read what has been and what hasn't been, but who knows how much it's been damn erased. You know what I'm saying?
And look up Letter to the Sultan.
Yeah, the Sultan's heart. That's never mind. That comes from religion too.
From George Washington.
George Washington stayed up here in Salisbury at some point. And some other guy, I forget which one it was, man. Shit. Let's see. George Washington come to Salisbury.
No.
President George Washington visit. Oh, never mind. I got the wrong one here. President George Washington visited North Carolina on May 13th, 1791 as part of his Southern tour. The tour was a journey through the Southern states to learn about the religious politics. Sorry, Link. That wasn't my... You can't escape it. Received and welcomed address theological dignitaries, thanks to supporters. Yeah, still a new sense of unity in a new country. I'm
not saying we can escape it. I'm just asking what religion? Which one? That's all I want to know.
No, man. That's not what I don't care. That's not what I know. I'm just putting it together, man. That's obvious that they've influenced each other. I don't know what religion, man. I don't know much about the specifics of religion because I don't have a religion.
All I'm saying is that they base politics in religion to make it look like it was from righteous men, but they are not. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Trump sitting up there now. Somebody that trying to sell Bibles with his name on it.
Well, that's literally the mixed. Never mind.
That's blasphemous.
I-
He's to make a profit off a Bible, selling something that's already been out forever, but put your name on it and try to make it a commemorative piece.
That's what King George. That's what.
Exactly. This is man-made shit.
Because look up King George. Look up the one done the new Bible. King, what is it called? King James, not King George. Look up King James and really what King James is about.
Okay,
it will blow your mind how evil that man was.
Okay, I do that, and I want you to look up Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch. Look up Willie Lynch speech.
What's the context?
Lynch, like you spell Lynch. No, Lynch. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying what are we doing? What are we doing? Looking up?
Willie Lynch speech right there.
The audience of Bank of James River in Virginia, 1712, regarding control of slaves within the colony in recent years have been widely exposed as a hoax. What is the? I'm lost. I don't know what I'm reading here. What the letter prompts? The letter. I don't know that word. I don't know that word either. But verbatim. Count short speech given the slave owner, which he tells other slave masters that he discovered the secret to controlling black slaves and selling. You tell me the context, bro. I don't really know.
Okay. So basically, here. Just I paraphrase what Willie Lynch letters and the Willie Lynch speech is all about. William Lynch was a slave master from the West Indies. He came over to Virginia, to America, to talk to slave masters here in America and teach them how to properly become slavers. He basically said in that speech, you're killing your livestock. You're beating them to death. You're getting rid of them. You're killing them and hanging them. He said in the letter, I can smell the whiff of a dead slave, from a mile away, right now. He said, if you want to control your black slaves, what you need to do is learn to turn them against each other. You turn the tall against the short against the tall, the old against the young against the old, the light skin against the dark skin against the light skin, the women against the men against the women. He said, if you do this, then they'll perpetually, you turn them against each other, the ones that live in the valley, the ones that live in the hill, make them all see these differences, and they'll perpetually fight themselves, each other for over 300 years. He said,
sorry. I can't see you. I'm on the other tab. My bad.
He say basically this is all you got to do. Let them enslave themselves. And this is something that most black people know about. When we see other people fucking up and doing shit, we be like, man, that's that old Willie Lynch syndrome. Like it says right here, be yourself, but hate yourself. Willie Lynch syndrome. That's what we call people that don't know that they're following under the doctrine of Willie Lynch letters and his speech, Hate the ones on the north. Hate them because they light skin. Hate them because they got straight hair. Because they have kinky hair. Hate them because they live in the house or they live on the hill, the north side or the west side. Hate them for each these differences and see these differences as competition. And at the end of this speech, he said, "You do this, they'll perpetually work for over 300 years." You can still see the effects of that right now. The Willie Lynch syndrome worked. This was something that was indoctrinated to other slave drivers to control black slaves, to turn us against each other.
Yeah, I think that's what our government's doing now, left and right. That's what I'm talking about, man. That so many things that are written down have come to find out to be false. So but
this is not false. This indoctrinated a mindset to the people that actually do exist.
It's going to be a hoax. Hold on. Also known as Willie Lynch letter, is an address audience bank of. It has been widely exposed to be a hoax.
This is not a hoax when you got black on black crime.
Man, I'm not saying, I'm just reading in Wikipedia. You told me to look this up. That's what I'm doing.
I know, but I'm just telling you that part right there is what they want you to think. If you was to read that without me telling you, no, it's not a hoax. Look for yourself.
Well, that's kind of what I've been saying about looking at historical documents. Yeah, I don't believe them.
I know, but this is not something that you can't believe because you can look out your window and see that it's working to this day. It did work. It's not a hoax. It did work. It did. Why do everybody say black on black crime and all they do is kill each other? That's what we black people call the Willie Lynch syndrome. There's no hoax to that. It's a part of American modernized life.
I'm laughing because that's what the church's message does fucking work too, man. It's made people fear. Sorry, man.
I'm with you.
We're saying
yeah, this shit is just nothing. Is just nothing godlike about this. That's why I don't.
No, man, no.
Nothing godlike about it. They keep trying to brainwash people against each other, and people like me and you understand. Look, there should be just a human common decency and a human common courtesy. But there has been doctrines that said, no, we got people that's going to go against the grain. And no matter what you think, you have to know that this is what people are going to do.
Man, that is honestly why I've never been a part of any of it. And I haven't. That's the truth. I've never had a title I've never subscribed to religion, politics, nothing. I try to be aware of them, acknowledge them, but it's the two things that since I was a kid, when I really didn't even know what was going on, just didn't seem right to me. I seen too many holes in both, you know what I mean? Like, okay, well, they all end up getting exposed, and you find out they're all, this and that wasn't true, and this wasn't true. The truth will hold up to anything. You can ask the truth all the questions you want, uncomfortable, add right, and try to trick it anyway. The truth will never change.
But that's just like saying,
it hold up to any kind of scrutiny, and none of them two just don't. They don't hold up.
I mean, you can dismiss it as truth, but that's just like saying back in 1776 that they didn't start trying to plan a new world order. It's still in effect. Just because they wrote it down don't mean you can dismiss it when there's still people pulling it off. It's still being followed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So you can't just say it's a hoax. You can just say that, they trying to make me believe it's a hoax, but I see this shit right here in my face. I see black crime.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I wouldn't say it was a hoax. I'm saying the dishonesty in both those factions, religion and government, has made me never subscribe to either one of them.
Like they got a lot of white people believing that black men don't take care of our kids, that we all deadbeat fathers and stuff like that. When I'm with my kids and I do everything for my kids, I just drove across the country to be with them.
That comes from black people bragging about it. It is kind of like a badge of honor.
No. See that's part of the brainwashing right there.
Man, that ain't brainwashing. My friends.
No. Let me explain that as a black person. Let me explain as a black person. Let me tell you why I think it's brainwashing. Because you just quick to say, that's because y'all say it. No, that's because you don't.
No, man, I'm doing actual people I've had conversations with.
Let me explain it.
I'm in jail, bud.
Let me say it. Let me say it because I can explain to why you hear people say it. You don't really look at the fact that Black America was brainwashed to give the black women the power.
No offense, but I don't have to check facts on something I hear out of someone's mouth.
I get what you're saying, but
I don't understand what you mean by that. I mean,
no, you're not letting me talk. You just heard it out of somebody's mouth. Listen, every race of people has a group of people that they're ashamed of. Like you don't like rednecks, Imagine how rich, dignified business, executives and distinguished people feel about the red. They got white people that don't want white people, and black people got the niggas. We got people that didn't. So you probably heard it.
Who I hear someone's mouth of.
Because you probably heard it from people that don't represent the race properly.
Nobody can represent a whole race. I mean,
just let me finish. You contradict. You're not letting me finish because you're throwing this. Just let me finish. Listen. just let me talk about it. You got black people following under what I just showed you, the Willie Lynch syndrome and the self-hate syndrome that probably said that to you without somebody educated like me trying to break it down to you. You so quick to dismiss what I'm saying because you heard it from somebody ignorant.
I didn't dismiss nothing you said. I said that might come from people brag about it, man. That's not. I didn't dismiss nothing. Huh?
Okay, so how you think that make me feel hearing you say, oh, you just stuck with somebody bragging about it and me trying to tell you how
I got stuck with nothing, man. I said that might contribute to the people thinking that.
Oh my goodness.
What do you mean?
Just let me.
I know more than 3 black people. Okay.
Okay. Well, let me say it. Let me say it from an educated point of view.
You are not one of them. So how?
So let me say it from an educated point of view.
You're gonna speak for people you don't know.
Yes.
How?
Because
you're black. That
yes,
don't make sense.
Exactly.
That don't make no fucking sense.
Okay, so when you gonna let me finish the words without trying to cut me off?
But that don't make sense.
Okay, so how you gonna learn something if it don't make sense and I ain't said shit?
I'm gonna learn something from you. Tell me what
I can't get past. I can't. Look at how you're doing. I can't get past the point of saying let me finish without you. Oh, well, how? I
mean, you're kind of fucking demonizing me and saying I did something I didn't hear, man. Like I didn't hear it.
I ain't saying you didn't hear it. I'm saying you heard it from somebody stupid or less educated than I am about the topic.
But there's nothing you can say that changes the fact that they said it.
Okay, so tell me what you know. Tell me what you know.
I don't know anything.
So why can't I say it while you talking? Why can't I just say, let me finish?
Go ahead.
Black America has been trained to follow up under the matriarchy of our women. If you read more into the Willie Lynch letters, it tells you there's a whole section in there called the taming of the black woman. And in that, it says that you have to literally beat the bitch out of her. It says that you have to take the black woman and break her down like you would break a horse. You would have to, like you train a horse to eat out of your hand, you would beat her until she eats out of your hand, and she will in turn teach her offspring to eat out of your hand. Now, that is the same thing that has been done to black women as mothers, saying, oh, don't go out there and be safe and go out there and watch for the police and watch out for the man and don't let them kill my baby. That's the same mentality. So with that being done, you have the nannies from the 60s that the black women that used to be the caretakers and for the white families and take care of the babies. They got more reverence in the community and in American culture as being the ones that nurture and cultivate. At the same time, white America is basically saying, keep the black man down. We're being shown in movies as criminals and thugs and all kind of other stuff to make people subliminally believe that's what we are. At the same time, you had in the 70s the welfare programs that came out. And fed the black women and the black families with welfare, Section 8, and food stamps, and all of this stuff. These programs implemented that they cannot have a man in the house over the age 18. Meaning when the social worker comes by the black house, the oldest child or the man had to leave. Those programs turned around and fed more black women and more of the black culture into our women feeling like and believing that they are independent. The ones that scream, I'm strong, independent black woman, I don't need no man, is because the government feed them. That in turn left black men out to have to try to figure out life on our own in a society where the police is chasing us and giving us minute chances at jobs, giving us court cases, pushing dope in the neighborhood, not giving us jobs to where we have to get out and do illegal things to get by, making black women further look at the black man as a villain. Why don't you have the same thing as the white man got? Because we don't have the same setup as the white man got. In turn, giving them where you can have all of these kids and you can just get child support and you can get Social Security and you can get this and that. Yes, you've heard it from other black people saying it because they are the victims of that system.
Okay, well then I didn't say no different than I heard it.
I'm
now
just
you
telling
just
you.
Said I heard it.
No, but you was trying to dismiss me telling the story of why.
No, I said that might contribute. I was agreeing with you. What do you mean?
But you didn't let me finish.
You hadn't started to let you finish, Lynch.
You didn't
You
let me.
fucking demonized me for saying something I didn't say. Now you goddamn
said
did. You demonized me for saying something I didn't say. I did not
because
fucking say a goddamn word, but maybe it comes from black people saying that that's what they do. They brag about it. The ones I've heard, and you literally just explained to me why they told me, but you told me I didn't hear it. Fuck that, Link.
You just cut it off.
That's
You just cut it off and said you just cut
I
it off.
didn't say a goddamn word, man. I didn't say that. I did not.
Do you know how that? Do you know how that sounds to me? You know? Do
I
you
did
know
not fucking say nothing about that, man.
But do you know how that sounds to me?
I don't care how it sounds. I didn't say nothing but fucking what I thought, man. What I heard. That backs up what you were saying.
I've heard white people brag on being slave masters in KKK too. So that
okay, whatever, man. You're right. I didn't fucking say nothing, man. I didn't say nothing fucking racist or nothing.
I didn't say you did. I said you didn't.
What are you saying? What are you saying, man?
Because before I got the chance to talk, you was like, "Oh, I already heard it." You hit me with basically a "you people" line.
How many fucking "you people" lines you put out about white people since we've been talking? I ain't said a goddamn word about it. Let you say what you want to say.
It's not a tit for tat. It's what I was trying to say, and you was like, "Oh, well, you people brag on it." It's like,
no, I said maybe that contributes to it that you hear it a lot. There's a million YouTubers on YouTube of women saying it, Link. God damn, man. Ooh. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you fucking attacked me for no reason.
No, I'm trying to say that
you brought up race this whole conversation, man. I ain't said a fucking word about race.
I'm trying to
see race like that. So it's hard for me to buy into all these racial things when I don't even see people as racist. I mean, I don't see.
You can't see stuff you don't live. Is what I'm trying to say. You cannot.
I don't see it anyway.
So why don't you let me tell you what it's actually like on the inside?
Let you tell me. I looked up your letter and everything, man, and then you said, "Oh, not a hoax." I was just reading it.
Yeah, but you cut me off when I said that when black men are considered black fathers, then you like, "Oh, well, you people brag on it."
No, I said maybe the fact that they say like it's brownie points is contributes to that.
It ain't is what I'm saying. That's not considered.
You didn't say it was. I said I've heard it said.
I know, but that's basically hitting me with a "you people" line and not letting me talk.
Man, you are so damn defensive of a race, and I'm not one of them. Okay,
I know that.
How much you think it is? I mean, it's not my fault you're defensive of it. I'm not fucking racist. I don't give a fuck. I'm being well told by people.
But to sit there,
I'm not going to let you demonize me for it.
I'm not demonizing you. You the one that sit there and said that. You said that, oh, you people brag on.
I'm sit here on my own fucking platform and let you sit here and act like I'm fucking throwing out racist.
I didn't say that. You the one that cut me off and said, well, they brag on it.
I'm sorry, Pixie. I can't calm down when I'm fucking attacked until I said something I didn't.
Okay, well,
I wasn't looking at you, but I was on another fucking tab.
How many times do you think I've started that conversation with a white man?
No, I'm not racist, man.
I know that, but you saying a typical white man shit is what I'm saying. How many times do you think I started this conversation with a white man saying, "Oh, well,
you saying that I follow a typical race"? Never mind, man.
You people kill each other, or you people do that, or you people brag on it. Let me fucking talk. Is what I was saying. Before you say that, because you're going right on to the stereotypical mindset that they want you to say towards me, is what I'm trying to say. That's the quickest response that white people have. Is
when I just told you how I can't even think that way. I don't go.
I know that. I did. God damn! I say I know that.
But that watch the news, man.
That response is the typical response I get so many times.
What? Then that means it's a fucking thing, man. That means it's not. That means it happens.
Exactly. So all I was saying is it's a thing.
You're mad at me because your fucking people say that.
No, you didn't let you know. You quick to do what other people say without letting me talk. How many times you think I've had that conversation with somebody cut me off? Oh, well, you people, you say it in your music and no, but let me tell you why.
I didn't say you people. I said my friends. I've heard my friends say that.
I know, and I said your friends may not be as educated about the situation as I am. Or they may be the stereotypical type. They may be what we call the coons, the ones that do hate themselves. You heard it from somebody that ain't gonna explain it to you like I did before you cut me up and say, "Oh, well, people brag on it. People brag on a bunch of shit in rap music, but that don't identify as the culture."
I was gonna bring up earlier how the movies, a lot of them are made by black directors. So, I mean, I just don't understand your point in a lot of it. I don't understand
Because
why
you
we're
won't
so
understand,
race.
you wouldn't understand that in order. You
When
need to
you
watch.
put two white people, you put a black and white people in a room, it's always the black person brings up race. It's always the black person. That's
Because we can't just stand by and let you say the stereotypical
if you
stuff.
bring it up, how is it being stereotyped?
How was it not stereotyped when you cut me off to say, "Oh well, y'all brag about it"?
How many times have I brought up race in this conversation? How many times have you brought it up?
I'm trying to bring it up because you only can see life through your white man eyes. You cannot see
Dude,
what
I'm
I
talking about
see.
religion. You keep bringing up race.
Because
What the
religion,
fuck are you talking about? I need to bring the treatment. I gotta go.
religion has told me to praise white
I gotta
Jesus.
go, man. You sit here and say I've been bringing up race when you've been doing it the whole fucking time. I got to go, man.
Because everything you say
Man,
has
I'm sorry.
something
I got
to
to go.
do.
I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to this. I'm sorry.
All right, you just brainwashed under you brainwashed
Yeah,
like.
man. I'm okay. Whatever, man. Call me whatever you
If
want.
you don't want to listen, then you just as brainwashed as the rest of them. Because
I've been listening to everything you've been saying, man, and I mean I've been listening to a lot of talk about race, but I ain't said nothing about it. So I've been listening. I ain't been nothing but objective, man.
I get that, but you still say that you still come up with the stereotypical answers that I've heard a million times, and I'm trying to break that
Well,
down.
there's probably a reason why it's stereotypical.
Exactly. It's not been broken down to you because you don't want to fucking
Okay,
hear
but
it.
then it's fucking religion, but you won't hear about it. You just
It's
don't
not-
want to talk about what you want to talk about.
This is why it'll always be divided because white people don't want to fucking
You're
listen.
right,
That's
man.
all I
It's
can
white
say.
people, white people. I just don't like people are people.
Now you acting like that now. You acting like that now.
Okay,
You acting
whatever.
like you
Now I'm
don't.
acting
Yeah.
like you're attacking me, man. You're calling me racist.
I'm acting like you have that privilege to not listen. So
Bye. I'm gone. Gone.